Republic of Nigeria. I'm talking about no other than distinguished Senator Dr. Chief Uche Lillian Ekunife Adigbo Nanri Iyom Anyanwu Nanri Kingdom, and all the communities, 776 communities in Anambra State, as in one time or the other, bestowed one chieftaincy title or the other to her. Because in the 7 local government areas she has operated, there's an imprint. It's either street light, roads, this or that, scholarship, job employment, mention them. She has done that. In all the local governments, 7 of them, she has represented as a distinguished senator. Not talking about when she was a member of House of Reps. That is why she still moves around, even occasions like this. Though she is no longer there, she is still being invited to come and do one thing or the other. And she has always been there for us. We welcome you, ma'am, once again. We want to appreciate another distinguished personality that is here. We are talking about no other than the person you have seen here, His Excellency is here. His Excellency is here. I'm talking about no other than His Excellency Elijah Onyagba, PhD. You are welcome. You are welcome, sir. We want to welcome all the entourage of the distinguished personalities here. We want to recognize all of you and appreciate you. Please, a round of applause for all of them. We want to recognize the members of the University Committee. We want to welcome all the professors here present, members of the Senate of this great citadel of learning. We appreciate all of you. We welcome you. This is your house, so we don't say no to you. Rather, you will say no to us. Do we have ushers here, please, that will help us usher those we have invited to the high table? Distinguished Senator Uche Lillian Ekunife. Please, a round of applause as we welcome her to the high table. We also welcome His Excellency Ambassador Elijah Onyagba, PhD, to the high table, please. A round of applause. We also want to welcome our royal father, royal fathers. First amongst them is His Majesty Igwe Saraf Obumneme Ekpe, Eze Nri, Eze Enugwu na Igwu Nri, Okpala Anaka na Enugwu. A round of applause for him. I know he's around. When he comes, we'll take over his seat. We also want to invite His Royal Majesty Igwe Austin Oragwam Eze Oranielo III of Obeledu, by the grace of God, the chairman of Anocha Traditional Council. We welcome you, sir. The chairman of the occasion is equally here. We decided to bring him last because he's the chairman. So after bringing him, we proceed to another program. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome a high chief, not just a chief, a man that has traveled far and wide, a very prominent fellow. Talking about no other than Mbulobi Abatete, High Chief Simon Tochukumeto. So please come up to the high table to preside over what we are going to do. The Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Whiteview Hotels and Suites Limited. Okay. What of, sorry? Hotels, okay. You're welcome, sir. You know, you are the chairman. If I had invited you before now and you say I should not invite any other, it will be a catastrophe. That's why I decided to take it by myself to invite them, then invite you, so that, Prof. I also want to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Management Sciences, this great citadel of learning, Professor Pius V.C. Okoye. He's already there seated. So, Prof. We also want to invite the President of the Student Union, SUG government. We recognize you, sir. Welcome, sir. Prof.
Thank you, my dear friend and colleague. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, your excellencies, we want to kickstart the program and we recognize each and every one of us here. We can see all the professors of the university well seated here, directors of our various institutes, the deans of the various departments here present. We welcome you. I alone will continue to recognize you as we move on, because we have just been directed to move on with the program, so that, because of time, so that as we move on, we will continue to recognize accordingly. Please, may you grant me the grace to move this program forward by respectfully inviting all of us to please stand for the national anthem. Thank you. Music song. Thank you. Please, while standing, may I respectfully invite Reverend Father Professor of Ejiofor to please come for the opening prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Oh God, we thank you for bringing us here together. We are here because we are your children. We thank you for all your gifts, especially those that enabled us to be here this morning, this afternoon. We thank you for all who have made this occasion possible. We thank you for Professor Pita Ejiofor and all the excellent qualities you have given to him, which we are celebrating. We thank you for our lecturer, Ambassador Dr. Elijah Nyagba. We thank you for our university management, for the students, for the lecturers, the professors gathered here. We thank you for everybody gathered here, especially those who have endured the frustration of African time today. We ask you to remain with us, to bless us, open our ears and our hearts so that we listen to this lecture. May we learn from it what is positive for our lives. May we learn things that will help us to be better children of yours, to be better products of music, better Nigerians. May we learn to live our life more faithfully to your will, so that at the end of the day, we will also gather like a body, like your children in your kingdom, where with ages and saints we praise you forever through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father.
Thank you, our dear very Reverend Father of Ejiofor. Please may I inform you that Father of Ejiofor is just back from Burundi, where he served as the Vice Chancellor of University of Burundi, Bujumbura in Burundi. Please may we put our hands together for him. Father, we salute you, we thank you very much. We thank you. My name is Professor Frank Collins Soka for the University Orator. As we all know, and I said that in issue, I will be working with my brother, Dr. Emeka Arinze.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you.
We had earlier recognized the traditional ruler of Enugu, and by the grace of God, one of the royal fathers in today's event, and he is represented ably, for that matter, by Ozombo High Chief Frank Wokike Ugobuzu in Enugu. A round of applause for him. With every sense of humility, may I also recognize and welcome Professor Ugochukwu C. Nzewi, the former Vice Chancellor of Paul University, and by the grace of God, a former Rector of the Federal Polytechnic. Oko, we welcome you, sir. We also want to recognize all the delegates of Paul University that are here. Please, a round of applause for them. We also recognize and appreciate the delegates from Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Chukwu University, Faculty of Management Sciences. You all recognized and welcome, please.
Thank you very much, Doc. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please may I respectfully invite the leadership of the Faculty of Management Sciences, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, the University of the Moment, and the University of All Time, to please do the formal traditional presentation of Kola Nut. Anyị ga-abanye na mmemme iwe ọjị ozigbo. A na-awazi ọjị, a na-akwadozi ihe ndị ọzọ na-egbughị oge. Ka anyị na-eme ozigbo. DJ, you give us background music while we do that. Mana ọkwa nke Igbo na ọrụ ọjị ka a na-ekwu okwu ya. We sincerely apologize for the heat. It is due to I'm on Nepasi. What did he do now? I'm Nandish. I went outside the Kahana. Ladies and gentlemen, Obuni Nezanjiga for the Dean of the Faculty of Management Sciences, Professor Pius Okoye, on the amazing presentation of Kola Nut on behalf of the faculty. Biko Kwaloniaka, not Rofele. Obunyego chairman negotiating the Igwe, mandate traditional Ivediche, in a special way, distinguished Senator Onyen Kanyon Okuya. So I got Bazina Meme Oji to be coordinated by the chairman on today's occasion. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please may we put our hands together for the chairman. Kwana cannot do easy. Thank you.
It will be working everybody be everybody never present, you know. I can our own distinguished Senator Chief. Your Excellency, Elijah Yamba. I can Professor Pat Ejiofor and the VC of the University. I can Charles Isoma. And all the professors nọ here, unu ehike ka ndị ọkammụta onye ha na-agba ya n'ala Igbo ọkammụta ndị ka onye ọ na wee mụta ekene m unu niile ndị ụmụ akwụkwọ anyị, I greet you all to ndị UNIZIK. Ihe ahụ na ọjị biko ewetago ọjị, anyị ga-eke na ọjị ka esi eke. Anyị ma na ọjị na only the language of the holder. Biko ịgbakọ Igbo anyị nwekwa ọjị. Ngwa biko a ga-ekwuru ọjị bunye our traditional rulers. Anyị ma traditional rulers nọ ya ha pụrụ ibu so ebunyezi ya ọjị ha mara ka anyị esi wee wara anyị ọjị ndị nna anyị nwere ebe a. Daalụ.
Wala n'aka na Enugu.
Igbo ekene m unu, Igbo ekene m unu, Igbo kachanụ, Igbo mụọnụ, Igbo zụọnụ, ụmụnụ ya enedu n'anya o. Ọjị dị m n'aka mana ọ bụrụ na mma akọbịa agbabịa na ọka anyị mee ya ka esi eme ya ka edistributu onye so o nwere nke m kedu the chairman onwe ga-ewepụrụ VC ọnọrọ ya ngwajede iyom debere ya ọjị edebere ịgbaka ịgba ike Enugu ji wee bili nyede ya ọjị. Kedu ọkwa ụmụ onye ọzọ n'ebe a kpọrọ mana ọka bịara n'ezie aka mazi alụmdo di ọkwa ọnụ ya ngwanyere ya ọjị nzewi ọnwa afụkwa ngo daalụ ngwanyeziela aka o nwere some red captives nọ si ebe a n'ụwa ụlọ ọjị elo ha onye ọka na ebe a anya ka ị na-enye chọrọ ọkwala nlọdụ anyị ka ha wee maasị akwago chekwala onye anyị ji aka wee debe ebe a nụwa bụ Emeritus prọfesọ nọkwu ya ka ọ ka na-abịa abịa onwe onye ga-ewetali ya ka ọ ka edebere ya was one. SUG president ọ nọ nso gịnị ọjị na ọjị n'olile biko na ị na-anya onye ọzọ ọjị ya elo ka enyekwu ya ọhụrụ mfụọ n'ezi ha akpọwa onwe onye ọzọ ọjị ọka hụrụ ọdọ adọ nyebere ndị mmadụ na ọkwa na ụta ka anyị atụ ya jiri anya bụ ogige oke onwe ndị na-abịanụ ka anyị mesie anya ka o si eme ihe unu ma onwe ndị na-abụrụ ndị Igbo ebe a na-ayọ ayịyọ maka ihe gbasara ọjị anyị na-emie na otu asụsụ anyị si wee dị anyị aghara arapụ omenala mewe omenelu so ndụ na-abụrụ ndị Igbo na-ama anụ asụsụ nji wee na-aga ọjị n'ụwa ha gbaala anyị na mmemme ihe omenala anyị permiti n'ume. Chukwu okike abịa ma anyị na-ekele gị. Chukwu okike abịa ma anyị na-ekele gị. Olise bụrụ ụwa mana ọjị n'ụwa. Anyị bụ ụmụ gị na-ekele gị. Anyị nọ n'ebe idebela anyị, ebe isi ka anyị nọ na-amụta akwụkwọ. Wee sị ka anyị recognize ya nwa gị nwoke bụ nwanne anyị nwoke bụ nna anyị bụ Emeritus Prọfesọ Pita Ejiofor bụ onye ikelu wee sị anya bịa ebe a nụnwa ọ bịa ebe a lụchaa ọlụ ọ lụrụ wee nachie n'udo. Ọ n'ifi ọlụ ọ lụrụ ka anyị ji wee nọdụ ebe a taata wee na-asị ya bịa were ọjị. Anyị na-ayọkwu ndị niile bụ ndị ọka nọ ebe a ha bịa were ọjị. Anyị na-ayọ DVC bụ onye edebela ebe a nụnwa ka ọ na-eledo the citadel of academic ihe na anya ya bịa were ọjị. Anyị na-ayọ the chairman ihe were ọjị iwegolo ọjị n'ọndụ ka anyị na-agụnye gị na-agụnye ndụ to oke ada Enugu, oke ada Nri, oke ada Nigeria, oke ada Anambra steeti bụ Iyom Ekwunife, distinguished senator. Ọndụ ka a na-agụnye gị na-agụnye ambassador Elijah agba a cabinet chief n'Enugu Ukwu. Ife a ji wee mmali ya n'Enugu Ukwu bụ ike Enugu Ukwu ji wee bili. Anyị na-asị na ihe adị ma ndị ọzọ nọ si ebe a nụnwa anyị ga-adị o kwuo na anyị adị ka echi o ọkwụnụ mana echi anaghị agwụ agwụ o anyị ga-adị ka echi. Anyị na-asị na ije anyị wụvu ije mmiri and ọ ya kọntinu na-avụ ije mmiri. Anyị bịara ebe a n'udo, anyị ga-anọ ebe a n'udo. Ife anyị ji aka wee bịa ebe a nụnwa anyị ga-emie n'udo na ọṅụ. Mgbe anyị ga-anachie be anyị ga-anachie n'udo na ọṅụ. A wee na-asị na Unizik ga na-aga n'iru. Ọ ya na-aga n'iru n'ọkwa n'ihe enu ka ọ ya aga na-eme ụbọchị a wee na-aga. Ụmụ anyị si na azụcha afa ha enodo anyị anya na ọ bụrụ azụcha afa azụba anyị. Ọ ya ebe a ka emere ka ya na-azụfa. So ụmụ anyị unu ya adị o, unu ya adị o, unu ya adị o. Ka ọ dị ka a na-emerụ ife anyị ji aka wee bịa ebe anyị enwetie ọjị ka anyị na-agọ. Ọjị dị n'iru anyị. Anyị gọchaa ọjị a Olise bụrụ ụwa nabata ya ebele anyị. Mgbe anyị ga-atị ya anyị ga-atata udo, anyị ga-atata ọṅụ, tata ndụ, ọganiru, ife akụ ihe enwe enwe n'afa Chukwu okike abịa ma o
Onye ugo buzuo ka anyị kụzie onye ọka ọdọ ala na aka na ntị ọ ya bụ anyị ka anyị na n'udo na anyị bịa n'udo. Onye ọka ngwa dọ ala aka na ntị.
N'ụba anyị onye na nke onye na nke ya nke onye chi nyazeli ihe nji ebe ọchị onye isi mahadum anyị bụ ọkammụta esemọnụ na onye isi ngalaba Modern Sciences bụ Pius Okoye si ka anyị were ọjị wee nabata onye ọbụla bịara ka nwa ya na m asị unu nnọọ ekpere anyị bụ na onye naba ụkwụ ara akpụ ya ebe na-eme ka ata akara agasịrị were aga n'udo. Lasịkwa m ka m were ọjị nabata n'ụzọ pụrụ iche mmadụ dịka High Chief Simon Tochukwu metụ mgbụlọbịa Abatete. Anyị na-asị gị nnọọ, anyị ma n'enyi ya. Anyị nwere namụtakwa mmadụ dịka ambasadọ Elijah onye agba ambassador extraordinary onye nke ya akụzie taata. Anyị na-asị gị nnọọ. Anyị na-amụta nnekwu nne anyị senetọ Uche Ekwu n'ime Adaugwu Igbo anyanwụ nwere kingdom. Anyị na-asị gị nnọọ. Wee na-anapụtakwa Igwe Sir Ralph Owekpe eze Enugu Ukwu na nri na ụmụ nri nọn ekpere ya bụ na ya bụ ka echi n'echi arụ agwụ agwụ iwe anyị ga-eri ya abịa nke ile anya ya abịa ọ na-arịọ n'iru anyị ọ na-azụ ọ na-arịọ na-azụ ya nọ n'iru ọ rịọga n'iru na azụ anọ na-etinye abụọ maka na okirikiri ka a na-agbụ ukwu ose arụ abịa ukwu ose elu ndị amara akpa ogene a na-ịgba ya n'ọdụdụ ya bụ na ọ ya adịla anyị na mma ọ ya adịla ụmụakwụkwọ ya na mma ọ ya adịla nkụzi anyị na mma iwe na-ewu ihe dị mma anyị chọrọ ọ ya emezila anya a ma ya ụsa dị n'elu ka o gbenete na alụmọjị na o nwere nke mma alụ a ma agwa na-agbọ n'agbọ ka ọ gọzie ọjị ka anyị taa anya tata ndụ udo ibe akụ akụ ibe enwe enwe ibe ndị ụka nna arịọ n'aha Jizọs Kraịst onye nwe anyị ọ iwe emelụ mma n'ọka
iwe emelụ mma n'ọka anyị buru ise na-awụghị n'akpa o nwere nke ma wera o nwere onye na-ewu ezi na ụkwụ anyị ji bịa ka anyị echi bọọsụ na-agba keke na-agba ejikwu moto nwere onye mkpa ijide ụkwụ bịa biko bịa na m na-eburu buda. Prof.
Thank you very much, dear brother, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please, may we formally recognize the family of Professor and Dr. Mrs. Pita Ejiofor under Ejimakawa Nolo Tata Nozopliche. Haki Lutere, mana the family not here. We talk I recognize her Nozopliche. And the family is represented in a special way by Dr. Onyinye Ene. Please, may you come forward. Dr. Onyinye Ene is an associate professor of accountancy of this great university. Please, may we put our hands together for her as she comes up. Thank you very much.
We also recognize the presence of Radopin Raf Azodo. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We want to take the chairman's opening remarks without wasting much time. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and pleasure and privilege to respectfully invite the chairman on today's occasion, a great man, a great leader, a young man that is doing very well. Thank you very much. We are expecting the numero uno of this great institution, the Vice Chancellor of our great university, to the glory of God, the sixth substantive Vice Chancellor of the university, a man that has done so much for this great citadel of learning, a man that is loved, and a man that loves, all put together. Professor Charles Okechukwu Esimone, Fellow Academy of Science, Fellow Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, the 18th most published scholar in Nigeria, and the first professor of micropharmaceutical technology in the whole of Southeast Nigeria. Please, may we put our hands together for him. Any moment from now, so that we can continue. Please, kindly permit us, the DJ, please, just 1 second. It will be in. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please may we rise to welcome the sixth substantive Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Professor Charles Okechukwu Esimone, fellow Academy of Science, fellow Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, the 18th most published scholar in the whole of Nigeria. Please may we put our hands together for him. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You are welcome. You are welcome, sir. Thank you. Thank you. The Vice Chancellor has already given me the thumb up to continue immediately so that we will be able to beat the time as much as we can, or meet up with the time. So, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, Mr. Chairman, distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished members of the High Table, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to invite, while we welcome the Vice Chancellor, the chairman on today's great event, the chairman on today's occasion, a man that is doing very well, a business tycoon, Nkulobi Abatete, the chairman and chief executive officer of Waldo Bill Hotels, Oka, Anambra State. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman, for his chairman's opening remarks. Mr. Chairman, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. When you look at our time, we are sorry that I think we are late already, so I don't think we'll have to waste much time. No much protocols and so much grammar. After all, we'll have professors here, if you want so much grammar, you gotta meet them. I think they will teach you. Our dear students is here too. Hannah Amota, they are growing up. Tomorrow, some of them will be our professors. So I thank and greet everybody that is here, President. My VC, I greet you, sir. I'm also greeting the Professor Emeritus. I think he's not here yet. Professor Pita, Ejiofor. All the royal chiefs here, all the royal cabinet, all the Indigweni wherever, I greet you people. I greet also our senator, distinguished Senator Uche Kunife, will greet you too. My own excellency, my own dear friend, Honorable Elijah Onyaba, the ambassador of Burundi, I greet you. I want to thank everybody for this great occasion. We know we're here to learn. I believe everybody will learn more here. I think it's about our culture and heritage. Our culture and heritage, every day we're hammering on it everywhere we go. Our culture I want to encourage our children that will take after us because our culture, which is our heritage, which is what our fathers and our forefathers give us. I never forget is there. So there's also when you see your Igbo brother or sister in a place, offices, you know, on we lose if I would say we lose the love, I may lose the love because when you're losing your culture, when you're losing what you have, you're losing the love and the togetherness, the bandness. So I think this thing today, because of our heritage, which is our culture. Because about our culture, how far happy people, how far boyfriend, how far happy. My go for I torato. The man always dedicated. Ana chokuka is where what away anywhere. And I put us there. Come makanota inaka. Please, let me not bore you with my speech because if I start it today, I don't know when I will end. I will know we don't have time. So I thank everybody here. Please, I encourage peace anywhere you are. Let's make peace with one another so our life will live long. I thank everybody and let's sit well and hear what our lecturers have for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nkulobi Abatete. That was the opening remarks by the chairman on the occasion, Nkulobi Abatete. We welcome you. Now we have to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Management Sciences of this great university. I'm talking about a Dean of Accountancy profession, a leader par excellence, a very humble, dedicated, hard-working Dean of the Federal Republic, who has worked relentlessly and effortlessly and very, very, very currently in moving this faculty forward. We're talking about Professor Pius V.C. Okoye, Dean, Faculty of Management Sciences. My doing Dean, sir.
Thank you, MC. The chairman of today's occasion, High Chief Sansen Tochukwu Neto, Glory Abatete, Simon, High Chief Simon Tochukwu Neto, Glory Abatete. Our dear Vice Chancellor, you are everywhere, I don't know, and today we agreed your pace will be slow. I don't know how it started again. We welcome you, sir. The distinguished Senator, Dr. Uche Lilian Ekunife, Iyom, CON, our own light, because she has shown light, brought light to many families, and she's still doing that. We welcome you. That's the keynote speaker. In a very special way, I want to thank His Excellency. He's a high chief, but the ambassador appointment appeared to have swallowed the high chief somehow. I don't know, that's my own mistake, if I say it. Yes, because he's the president of Nigeria in another country. So, we welcome His Excellency Ambassador Elijah Biennial. He's Ike Enuguku, also Ike Enuguku N'Umundi. Some of you, this is not ordinary decoration. That's why I decided to mention it in person. We welcome the representative of His Royal Majesty, the Igwe Enuguku N'Umundi and Eze Enuguku na Igwe Umundi. Yes, he's able represented here. His Royal Majesty, Dr. Epe. He's here well represented, able represented. The MCs have established many of these protocols, but before I go, I would prefer to recognize my teacher, because he's my teacher. Somebody who is teaching when you are a student is your teacher, whether he taught you directly or indirectly, and there are people who will look up to, who have made so much sacrifice in this system. I'm talking of no other but Professor UC Nzewi is a ex-this, ex-that, former rector, former vice chancellor, and is still teaching. He's the leader of delegation of the team from Paul University. Prof, you are most welcome. I won't fail to recognize our former deans. I can see Professor Chizoba Ekeme is here well seated, Emeritus Professor. I saw Professor Ibenta, some were seated, yes. They are one of our former deans, the Dean Emeritus. But you know we have cognate faculty. So if our dean is not here, some other dean will come in and sit. The person behind me is our cognate dean. So if I don't recognize him, when we are doing appraisal, he will not come, and the panel will not be properly constituted. So I want to recognize the university orator, Professor Collins. You are welcome. We can't go further. The person that gave us the opening prayer is a former dean, Reverend Father of Ejiofor. He's also a former vice chancellor, a far away Burundi. Father, you are most welcome. You know you always hide. When you come, you hide somewhere, but one thing or the other always take you from where you are. We have people that started this faculty, work so hard to bring it down to this place. I can see one of them here seated. No other but Professor Charles C.C. Golum. He's one of the founding members of the faculty. He's still looking very young. I think he was one of the youngest when they started. Yes. So I can't go further without recognizing our council member. He's the chairman of LOC quite well, but he's a council member. This appointment is still important to me. So let me recognize Professor Ezima Nabife, and in her capacity as a council member, and using her to welcome all the other members who are here present. Let me stand speedily on the well-established protocols because we are running short of time. Distinguished Vice Chancellor Professor Charles Simone, I thank you. I thank the chairman, our keynote speaker, guest lecturer, our esteemed royal fathers, other guests, professors, lecturers, students, and participants. It's with great pleasure and profound honor that I extend a warm welcome to each of you to the 2024, the third Biennial Frontier Lecture, a hallmark achievement event that epitomizes the pursuit of knowledge and celebration of scholarly excellence. As Dean of the Faculty of Management Sciences, it is indeed a privilege to stand before you this August gathering today. This event was initiated and instituted in 2016 and stands as a testament to our enduring commitment to honor the legacy of Emeritus Professor Pita, a visionary leader whose contributions to academia and broader society continue to inspire us. Through this lecture series, we not only pay homage to this distinguished service as a former Vice Chancellor of our esteemed institution, but also seek to push the boundaries of knowledge and challenge prevailing paradigms that hinder human development. Today, as we gather in this prestigious university auditorium, though we are suffering from heat, but in no distant time it will be over. We are graced by the presence of eminent personalities who exemplify excellence in their respective fields. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief host, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Charles Simone, FAS, whose leadership continues to steer our university towards the higher heights of academic excellence. Before I go to others, actually today is the day we scheduled to say to him, "You have done very well." I discussed him with the guest lecturer that it's today that the faculty will be sending him off. But we are subject to law. Last time when I came back, the DBC called us to a meeting that faculties will now conduct valedictory faculty board sessions, and that's the place they will send him off or say thank you to him. So we quickly adjusted our program because I inform you, you'll be wondering where is this in our program. That's the reason for the adjustment. The university brought out a program, a calendar of events that changed our earlier program. So we welcome the chairman of the occasion, High Chief Simon Tochukwu Meto Mbobiato Abatete, whose unwavering support is instrumental in the success of this event. Our keynote speaker, distinguished Senator Uche brings with her a wealth of experience and insights that will undoubtedly enrich our discourse today. She's a very practical person. She's talking from the standpoint of experience. She doesn't theorize. She believes in results. This is an example, a standing example of what Professor Pita Ejiofor stood for. That's partly why we choose her, because Ejiofor championed what you call result-oriented managers. That's why we went out for the keynote speaker and the guest lecturer. Also the chairman, we look at people who don't just do talk, who do things that are practical. Things you can interact with, things you can verify, things that stand to speak for themselves. So I extend a warm welcome to our guest lecturer, His Excellency Elijah Inaba, whose presence adds a distinct depth to our deliberations. Of course, the young ones, some of you, I'm sure, they keep asking, where is that picture? Is he the one? Check and see if he's the same person you are seeing. That's the ambassador in flesh and blood. You are most welcome. To our distinguished, esteemed guests, professors, lecturers, students, and participants, your presence here today underscores your unwavering commitment to the pursuit of knowledge and academic excellence. Your collective expertise and intellectual prowess serve as the cornerstone of our academic community, and I'm deeply honored to stand among such esteemed companies. As we embark on this intellectual journey today, let us embrace the spirit of inquiry, open-mindedness, and collaboration. May our deliberations today serve as catalysts for innovation, progress, and positive change in our society. Once again, before I conclude, let me inform us, the chief celebrant, I went to him, to his house, we talk, but we're all still praying because something happened and he was taken to the hospital. He's still in the hospital as I'm talking to you. Because of his zeal to come, the doctor promised to bring him from the hospital. I'm still in contact with the family. He's still in the hospital as we speak right away. But when he was, insisting, there's what they call moving or taking a step contrary to doctor. I said, don't ever try that. We want you alive. We don't want you to come and then we start telling stories. If the doctor said, don't move, why not be there? At the end of this event, we will look for you wherever you are. All these people know you. It's not like we are talking about a spirit we don't know. It's a former vice chancellor, former dean, our own teacher. He taught me, he taught many of us. Like I said, distinguished senators, which stands out because he championed what he called result-oriented management. And if you know distinguished Senator Ekunife, all her days as House of Rep, Senator, everything she has ever done, she stands out because she sets a new record. Believing in result, moving for result, and pushing, and people see it. So she doesn't come, talk for herself. These things talk for her. So once again, I extend a warm welcome to each of you and wish you a stimulating and fruitful engagement throughout the proceedings. So we are still hopeful because the doctor said we're monitoring the stability. If it's constant after a while, they can take him here for like 30 minutes, 1 hour, and back. But that's what the doctor says, sir. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, the Dean of the Faculty of Management Sciences and the host of today's occasion. We also want to recognize some eminent personalities that walked in. We want to recognize Honorable Ogo Egolum. You are welcome. We also want to recognize Honorable Engineer Ikobi Ejiofor. That water is running in Anambra State, especially Oka and Onitsha. It's because of the effort of this young man who resuscitated Anambra State Water Corporation. He's the MD CEO of Water Corporation, Honorable Engineer Ikobi Ejiofor. You are welcome, sir. Prof.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, distinguished Vice Chancellor, Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We want to kickstart this program in this formal way because it's going to be declared open by the Vice Chancellor of our great university. And to the glory of God, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the 6th substantive Vice Chancellor of our great university, Professor Charles Okechukwu Esimone, Fellow Academy of Science, Fellow Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, the 18th most published scholar in the whole of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Charles Okechukwu Esimone, to please come for the Vice Chancellor's address and also to declare the program open. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir.
Thank you very much. I most respectfully recognize the chairman of this occasion, the very respected High Chief Simon Toshkumetu and Ekeleki, our keynote speaker, the most distinguished Senator Uche Kunife, and the Director General of Southeast Governors Forum, Ene Kennedy, also Purichi, and the respected guest lecturer, Ambassador Elijah Nyaba, Ene Kennedy. We recognize the traditional ruler of Enugu, Igwe Dr. Ebe, represented here in a very special way by the traditional Prime Minister, called Traditional Prime Minister, Traditional Secretary, Cabinet, anyị na-ekele gị ezigbote ndị ọgọ m ụzọ pụrụ iche. We recognize Honorable Ejiofor ụzọ pụrụ iche, who is here in several capacities, but one of the most symbolic is that na anyị na-ekwu na anyị na-achọ Professor Ejiofor. Ikobi nọ here, they represent here, and Professor Ejiofor's daughter is also with us here. When I looked around and I didn't see you at the courtesy call, I was wondering whether I had become well represented, because even when we go to see him, he's one of the persons that Prof will also point as Onyena Nochitienu Zopurujo, who represents him, and he has done so well. I thank you for being here, I understand. I also want to recognize all the deans of various faculties and directors of various programs, heads of departments in the Department of Management Sciences. Please not forgetting the dean of the faculty, who is the one who has actually organized the Professor Pita Ejiofor Frontier Lecture. At the point we were wondering when I was doing that, but the dean came and met me and resuscitated it. So I want to thank Professor P.D. Sokoye, Dean Faculty of Management Sciences, for doing this in a very grand style. And all the people who have been working with you, including the LOC chairman, my own member of council. There are several persons that have accompanied the distinguished guests who are here, who have accompanied Professor Distinguished Senator Uche Kulife. I won't recognize all of you one by one. We have recognized your principal, but we will soon or more. Then the Soko Ambassador Elijah and Igwe Mumuri and as soon or more to Namda Sikuru University. And our distinguished colleagues, our great students, great UNIZIC students, greatest UNIZIC students. I'm particularly delighted to welcome you all to this event, which, on account of it being intended to eulogize and immortalize the name of Emeritus Professor Pita Ejiofor in his lifetime, stands apart from the others. I've recognized the key actors before, but I want to commend the successive leadership of the Faculty of Management Sciences for instituting and sustaining this biennial lecture series to immortalize the name of Emeritus Professor Pita Ejiofor, a well-deserved honor in his lifetime. The emphasis is that this honor is in his lifetime, that we are doing it. In furtherance of this, I understand that a book, a collection of selected works of Professor Pita Ejiofor, will be launched today. Emeritus Professor Pita Ejiofor is one of the key figures in the evolution of management sciences academic disciplines in Nigeria. He pioneered the Faculty of Management Sciences in Namda Sikuru University and subsequently became its second Vice Chancellor. As a Vice Chancellor, he launched the trajectory of infrastructure development on which the university has continued to ride. He secured the repeal of the policy that made the university a non-residential university, and then built the first 2 students' hostels. He built the administrative building and the Faculty of Management Sciences building complex. He undertook the perimeter fencing of the university, without which portions of land of the university would have ended up being poached, among other noble achievements. I think he deserves an applause at this stage. For his academic and administrative exemplars, the university honored him with the highest recognition accorded to professor in the Nigerian university system, which is Emeritus Professor. And his academic constituency, the Faculty of Management Sciences, instituted the Emeritus Professor Pita Ejiofor Biennial Lecture Series, the 2024 edition of which is being held today. The theme of the instant lecture, Cultural Diplomacy, paving the way for national development, is quite intriguing, and we eagerly await its exposition. Before I end, I want to recognize the CMD of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital, who came in while I was making my address. So once again, I want to welcome you all to this event, and on behalf of our Senate and the entire university management, it is my singular honor to declare the 2024 edition of the Emeritus Professor Pita Ejiofor Biennial Lecture Series open for discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor. Please, may we put our hands together again for him. Thank you again and again. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, distinguished members of the high table, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we want to get into the keynote address. And the keynote address is going to be delivered by one of the greatest politicians, one of the greatest leaders, a modern magnificus, a lady with a difference, ever resourceful and vibrant. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking of no other person but distinguished Senator Uche Ebunife, PhD. A woman of substance. Ladies and gentlemen, the Director General, Southeast Governors Forum. You know, we are trying to cut and cut and cut. So many things. May we put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. He has done the job for me because he introduced me very well. He said one of the politicians. He didn't say one of the professors. He didn't say an academia. He didn't say one of the lecturers, but one of the politicians. So that said, he has made my job very simple because so much is not going to be expected from me. Mr. Vice Chancellor, the man of the moment, the outgoing Vice Chancellor of Unity. You can see how unique you are and how special you are. You're already looking very handsome and peaceful. There's nothing like doing your work and ending well. Yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to appear here today. You will feel that every one of us will be very uncomfortable. But here he is very happy, very delighted, very proud, because he has done his work well. The chairman of this occasion and one of the youngest chiefs in Anambra State, Chief Simon Tochukwumetu. You know when a community says you are their Mpulobi, I mean, you understand? Because the heart is everything. He said Mpulobi. Like you know when the heart stops breathing, which means now with the heart of the community. Clap for him. It's not easy to answer that. Mpulobi Abatete. Thank you so much for honoring one of our finest. And to youngest ambassador in Africa. One of the most brilliant young men I've ever met in my life. Not just young and vibrant, they're very, very purposeful. Very, very purposeful. So I'm happy he's not just here as a guest lecturer. He's also here for the youth to have someone they will look up to. To know that one day you will not just be like him, but you will surpass him. Is it not? Those that want to surpass him here, raise your hands up. You see? So your hands can even go up. Thank you so much. Let me recognize the man that brought us here today, the Dean of Faculty of Management Sciences, and my own brother, PVC Okoye, Professor. Thank you so much for doing a good job for the Ejiofor. I must recognize the Ejiofor family. In Anocha, though the Prof is not here, but his beautiful daughter is here, and his nephew is equally here, who was our local government chairman before. So in a Ejiofor family, you have professors, you have doctors, you have politicians, you have a local government chairman. Local government chairman is someone that is in charge of local things. So he's the one representing the family today. So I want to recognize that esteemed family, the Ejiofor family. And we use this opportunity to pray that God will grant our leader a good health wherever he is. God will help him permanently in Jesus' name. I want to recognize the CMD, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Chukwu University, who is seated here. Thank you for coming. And to all the professors, we have a lot of professors here, especially the women professors. I don't know how you even made it. I don't know, some of you that are female professors, you have to tell me how you were able to make it to that level. Because me, I want to be a professor, but I don't know whether this my brain can accommodate anything like teaching now. So for all the women professors, clap for yourselves. I must recognize you. While I respect the male professors present, and all the doctorate degree holders, all the lecturers, all the staff of UNIZIC, both academic and non-academic, and all our beautiful students. I want to appreciate all of you for finding time to be here this afternoon. That said, I want to welcome my entourage, those that came with me, my local government coordinators. Let me use Orthodox as a point of contact for all of you. And to my son, this is the first time I've seen your mom speaking. I said you must come with me today. So I want to thank you all for finding time to be here this afternoon to join us in celebrating this man. As a scholar, he chose to have this public outing to celebrate his third anniversary of his Frontier Lecture, yes. So when I was contacted, I was invited, I saw the invitation. I screamed, I said, I called Pius, I said, I hope you know who you send him the invitation to. He said, yes. I said, you really want me to come and face these professors? He said, he wants me to come. Then I went into prayers. I said, God, you have never failed me, and you can't fail me in this outing. You must give me the courage and the wisdom to face the professors. So I fasted, and God revealed to me, go, my daughter, I will not fail you. So here I am. And I believe that since I'm not a professor, I'm a politician. Any mistake, you come and correct me later. Because you don't expect to hear me speak as a professor. I'll speak as Senator Uche Lilian Ekunife, former member House of Reps, Senator, Federal Republic of Nigeria, and now a consultant in, I'm asking her, as jack of all trade. Master of none. Me, I'm a jack of all trade and master of all. So now I am a consultant now. So let me crave your indulgence to go through my written speech so that no one quotes me out of context tomorrow. As a female politician, I worked hard to be where I am today, very hard. And sometimes when they see female politicians or when they see women succeeding, they will give you all manner of names, even people who don't know you. I remember vividly when I was in the bank, I had one of my staff, Ifu Nobara, she's a general manager now in UBA. Every promotion period, I will call all of them. Oh yeah, praise yourselves. You know how you perform. Just see the promotion form. Fill it yourself. Give yourself mark. And I say, if you're not promoted, who do you want to be promoted? Every one of them will say, if you're not bad. And I kept giving her double promotion till I left the bank. And I said to Ife, you are very lucky I am a woman. Assuming I am a man, they will say you've gone to Ghana to do juju to hold me. And that is why I give you. So today I am standing in my own capacity as distinguished Senator Uche Kunife, whom so many people have called so many names. But I want to use this opportunity to reiterate that right from secondary school, my mother told me you can only be who you want to be. And I'm happy that Nabu is here. Nabu, Honora's wife, is from the same village with me. And I said I will come to give this speech. So that I also use that opportunity for some of you that haven't seen me before to see me, to know that the woman you're seeing here today is a woman that two things made me who I am today: God and hard work. So once you have God, you work hard, the sky is your limit. Forget about what people say. You know who you are. So on that note, it is with great honor and privilege that I accept the invitation to give the keynote paper at this momentous occasion of the third Professor Pita Ejiofor Annual Frontier Lecture. I especially thank the VC, which I've done already, for the invitation and extend my warmest greetings to all distinguished scholars, professors, students, lecturers, women, men, and my own entourage that have gathered here this afternoon. Introducing my topic, setting the context. Before delving into today's discourse, I wish to pay tribute to our highly esteemed colossus that we gathered to celebrate today. Who is Professor Pita Ejiofor? If someone asks you who is Professor Pita Ejiofor, what will you say? Say, Professor Ejiofor is that old man that lectured, that was UNISIC professor one time, now he's old, he's in house. No. Professor Pita Ejiofor is a distinguished scholar and a leader known for his contributions to academia, business, and community development. With expertise in economics, management, and regional development, Professor Ejiofor has held leadership roles in academia, known for his innovative teaching methods and academic excellence. He extends his influence beyond academia through entrepreneurship and consultancy, advising organizations on strategic management and sustainable growth. Professor Ejiofor is committed to community development and philanthropy, notably through initiatives empowering youth and promoting education. His Otusuwakwa Igbo initiative aims to preserve the Igbo language and culture. I remembered one day someone knocked at my door. I opened, one woman came and said, Ekenemgi. I said, no. Omuga nokuya. I said, no, no, no. Osimo omuga na sukwa Igbo. I said, na fana asu. Osifa na anukwu Igbo. I said, na fana. I said, nebe, onebe kisi. Osim no Professor Pita Ejiofor send the lefa. We say, Keku say, I found the zone. Osina, some of them were volunteers. Some of them on AFA go to just go and for the advocacy. If you're a committed Igbo man, very soon our language will be extinguished. If not for people like Professor Pita Ejiofor. Mmadụ onye nọ n'ime anyị ka ụmụfa ga-asị mommy daddy ka nnakane na village ka nje malife na-eme biko ụzọ anyị ga-esi honor Professor Pita Ejiofor today bụ na onye na-alụ obi ya jụwa sụwakwa Igbo ọ na-anya His dedication to knowledge advancement and positive change solidifies his reputation as an influential figure in academic and professional realms. It is indeed an honor to be associated with this great man. My keynote address is designed with two clear objectives in mind. Firstly, to shed light on the crucial role of regional diplomacy in national development with a specific focus on the Southeast region. Secondly, to showcase the Southeast experiences, achievements, and ongoing strategies in promoting regional collaboration for socio-economic transformation. By delving into these themes, we aim to provide insights that can guide policy decisions, inspire collaborative action, and pave the way for a prosperous and resilient future for the Southeast and Nigeria as a whole. Regional diplomacy, definition and importance. Regional diplomacy refers to the strategic engagement, negotiation, and cooperation between geopolitical regions within a country and relationships that exist between states in a particular geopolitical zone. It encompasses the interactions, agreements, and collaboration between neighboring states or subnational entities within a defined geographical area. In Nigeria, we have 6 zones, 6 regions. I'm sure every one of you. Mandan. At its core, regional diplomacy operates within a framework of mutual respect, trust, and understanding, guided by the sovereignty, non-interference, and collective decision-making principles. It involves dialogue, negotiation, and collaboration among diverse stakeholders to achieve mutually beneficial outcomes and address common challenges. I have this. The importance of regional collaboration within context of national development cannot be overemphasized. Several factors underscore this significance, and I would like to have your ears. Number 1, economic integration. Regional cooperation streamlines economies, markets, and supply chains within a geographical region. Trade, investment, and economic expansion. By aligning policies and dismantling trade barriers, neighboring states boost competitiveness, attract investment, and generate job opportunities for their people. Infrastructural development. Collaborative efforts, that's collaboration between the states in the region. In this case, we are referring to the Southeast zone, and in the Southeast region, we have 5 states. So we are talking about what the 5 states can be doing together in order to ensure the economic and prosperity of their people. That's the summary of what this particular topic is talking about. Infrastructural development, collaborative efforts in regional planning, financing and execution drives infrastructure, projects like transportation networks and energy grids. This cooperation enhances connectivity, lowers transportation costs, and broadens market access, fueling economic growth and social unity. Resource sharing and management. Many geopolitical regions possess shared natural resources that transcend state borders. Cooperation ensures their fair resource distribution and sustainable management, curbing conflicts and promoting environmental conservation. Conflict prevention and resolution. Regional diplomacy is pivotal in averting and resolving conflicts among neighboring states. Dialogue, trust building, and peace initiatives for further mutual understanding, resolving disputes, and maintaining stability. Cultural exchange and social cohesion. Regional collaboration fosters cultural exchange and dialogue, promoting tolerance and social cohesion by embracing shared heritage and supporting cultural initiatives. Neighboring states strengthen bonds, foster unity amidst diversity. Role of cultural diplomacy in regional development. Cultural diplomacy constitutes an integral dimension of regional diplomacy, serving as a powerful tool for promoting mutual understanding, bridging cultural divides, and fostering goodwill and cooperation among neighboring states and communities. Unlike traditional forms of diplomacy, which often focus on political or economic interests, cultural diplomacy emphasizes the role of soft power, cultural exchange, and public diplomacy in shaping perceptions, building trust, and forging lasting relationships. In the context of regional diplomacy, cultural diplomacy plays several key roles. It plays the role of promoting cultural exchange. I'm just summarizing it. It plays the role of building bridges of friendship. It plays the role of enhancing soft power. It plays the role of promoting peace and stability. the socio-economic landscape of Nigeria's Southeast region. Brief overview of the Southeast region. Nigeria's Southeast region, often referred to as Igbo land, is a vibrant and culturally rich area located in the southern eastern part of the country, comprising 5 states of Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo. The Southeast is home to diverse population with a rich history, traditions, and customs that have shaped the region's identity. The Southeast is known for its entrepreneurial spirit, with a thriving private sector that encompasses industries such as manufacturing, commerce, service, and all of that. I don't need to bug you with what Southeast is known for. We all know what we're known for. We know we have professors, we have doctorates, whatever, we are traders. We are known for our enterprise. We're known for our resourcefulness. We're known for our hard work. We're known for so many things. The Southeast is so blessed. We are massively blessed because we are known for everything good on how to promote any economy and grow any economy in this country, not just our zone. You hardly see where you have Igbo people and that place is not prosperous. You hardly. Anywhere you find an Igbo man, that place is prosperous. Because it is in us to work very hard and earn a living for people around us. So, ndị be anyị anya akọzi n'onwe anyị ọnụ. Anyị nwee ihe ndị ọzọ na-enwero. So na Igbo ka ị ga-afụ mmadụ ọkpọrọ onye ọ na-amabụrụ mee ya ọbụla ọgaranya. Yes. So na Igbo ka ị ga-afụ mmadụ olie nne ọsị na nebia ebi m ebe a na ka be nebo m dị ọmakwa ndị ha bụ nwee ike lụchanye ha bungalow ma ọ lụọ ọrụ ha first ma ọ protect efa ọ fada eli na obunye farais. Anyị abụrụ ndị na-achọ ka ndị mmadụ bịa nọnyere anyị na-akwụsị agụụ anyị na-eme na anyị karị ya ọ bụrụ ndị Igbo. Kọlụrụ ndị Igbo aka ndị Igbo dị blessed. Moreover, the South boasts a wealth of natural resources, including arable land, minerals, and hydrocarbon deposits, which serve as the foundation for the region's agricultural and extractive industries. From the fertile plains of Abia State to the coal-rich fields of Enugu State, the Southeast is endowed with abundant resources that have the potential to drive economic growth and prosperity for its inhabitants. However, despite its considerable economic potential, the Southeast region faces some socio-economic challenges that threaten to impede its development and undermine the well-being of citizens. Number one, the insecurity. We saw what we have never seen before, and we are seeing what was never here before. Before now, people will travel home for Christmas, for Easter, drive by the road. Children will come in, exchange visits to their neighbors, to the uncles, to aunts, and all of that. They will still do them. Insecurity. But the governors are working very hard to ensure that they secure lives and property, which is the primary responsibility given to them by the Constitution of Nigeria. But security is not only government job alone. The citizens must play their civic responsibility. When you see threats around you, report to the nearest security agency. Because police cannot be everywhere. It works better abroad because they use all means to report danger around them to the security agencies. But the governments are working very. You see that you cannot. Hello. Don't worry, I pray. I will get to the end of that. Hello. 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 So government cannot do it alone. Security is everybody's business. It's not just only government. We have less than 600,000 conventional policemen in Nigeria. Less than 600,000. Will they be everywhere? If we are here, you have somebody with you there carrying gun. You don't report. How will a policeman that is in the police station know? I'm just giving an example. If you know you have a student or somebody around you, this university that is not doing well, that is a threat to your life and the environment, would you report? How would they know? So we have to assist the government to serve us better. But the governors of the Southeast, the SEGOF, that are working very hard assiduously to have a common control, so people will stop committing crime in one state and run to the other states. Very soon they will not have anywhere to go, where they will be caught. Yes, they are working hard to ensure that Southeast is home for all, except the criminals. However, despite its considerable economic potential, the Southeast region faces some socio-economic challenges that threaten the peace development and undermine the well-being of its citizens. From infrastructural deficits to youth unemployment, these challenges demand concerted action and targeted interventions to unleash the region's full potential and pave the way for inclusive growth and sustainable development. The Southeastern region grapples with a range of socio-economic challenges that hinder its progress and impede the realization of its developmental aspirations. Some of the key challenges include security concerns. Like I said before, we have to all be concerned about protecting our lives and protecting the environment, but the governors are working assiduously to ensure that they protect lives and properties. Infrastructure deficits. The Southeast region suffers from inadequate infrastructure, including roads, bridges, power supply, and water resources, which limits economic activities, impedes mobility, and undermines the quality of life for residents. All the states are working hard. Even in Anambra State, you can see what the governor is doing. In Enugu State, you can acknowledge what the governor is doing. In Imo State, you see what is going on there. But there are people who have made up their mind they don't want to acknowledge any government. So whatever you do, they will, especially those people who have access to convincing the gullible people, convincing the young ones. They don't want to believe that government, even when you pass the whole roads, even where they're living, they will look the other way because they don't want to see it. Let us acknowledge people when they're doing well. I schooled in Unizik here. This is where I had my PhD, my MBA, in this Unizik. In this Unizik, I did 2 roads, completed and handed over. When I praised this VC, you wouldn't know why I praised him. He walked into my office when I was there and said to me, please, I want to, have some legacy projects in this university. You're in a position to help me to put these projects. He brought the roads, I put them in the budget, I completed them and handed over to them. I did the biggest skill acquisition center here, where furnished is waiting for commissioning. But I came for campaign here. One reverend father sat on the pulpit and was cursing me. There was nothing he didn't say. In a university that have done such massive investments, in a university that I schooled, in a university that I have scholarship, I know people I'm paying for their school fees here. Because you have the gavel of authority. You're castigating someone you don't even know that did nothing to you, just to get the students to vote against their own sister, someone that did 2 rows completed, someone that did skill acquisition that will give knowledge to the student. Come on. The church is where you preach and convert souls for Christ. The church is where you go and get the truth, not where you go and your mind will be blocked towards people who did nothing to you. But I thank God that I'm moving forward in life and things are moving. Sometimes they say you have to speak out. Yes, one has to speak out sometimes, because if you don't speak out, the same thing will be repeating itself. And but as God will have it, they say when door closes, the right one will open. Yes. So I thank God for everything, but I want every one of you to know that I am alma mater here. I had my PhD here, my BSc here. The solar street lights here, I've put 4 locations in Unizik. Yes, 4 locations. Roads, skill acquisition, my name is written there. So if the person wants to close his eyes and don't want to know who built it, the name will be there to show you who did it. To show you who did it. So, before Nigeria's civil war, the economic development of the former Eastern region, now known as the Southeast, was meticulously orchestrated by the US consulting firm called Arthur D. Little. I want you to listen to this because many of you don't know this history. Just listen. It took me time to even go and research to get this history. This strategic planning involved key figures such as Dr. Azikiwe and Louis Philip Odumegu Ojukwu, who played pivotal roles. Arthur D. Little collaborated with a group of young Eastern Nigerian economists, including Pius Okibo, PhD, Northwestern, Ukwu I. Okwu, PhD, Cambridge, and Chukwusando Okomu, PhD, Harvard. Together, they aim for diverse economic growth across sectors like agriculture, industry, and education. Notable achievements of this plan included the establishment of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, UNN, which collaborated with universities in Michigan and New York to pioneer fields like medicine, engineering, surveying, and business administration. Additionally, industrial estates and corridors were developed to stimulate economic activity. These included Trans-Amadi in Port Harcourt, Aba for light industries. You see what our forefathers did. Aba for light industries, Umuahia for biotechnology, Emene in Enugu for steel and industrial automation, and in Kalago, Port Harcourt and Calabar for cement and building materials. Onitsha was designed as an emporium to drive retail trading, while Obudu Cross River was developed for dairy, holidaying, and corporate meetings. You see the initial plans. I don't know where we got it from. You can imagine, Southeast would have been the China we are seeing today. The region saw the establishment of plantations for cashew nuts, palm kernel, coffee, and timber in various locations. Michael Obara even personally delivered seedlings for these projects. While development and education started in Lagos and Abeokuta in 1850s. 1850s. That's when education started in Abeokuta, giving the Southwest a significant head start. The East economy grew rapidly after Arthur D. Little's plan, reaching over 9.2% growth annually from 1958 to 1967 in the Southeast. When the Southwest started in 1850s, see when our own started. 3 industrial corridors were planned for the East. The MNN Calago corridor focused on automobiles, building materials, and industrial automation, while another stretched between Port Harcourt and Aba. The aim was to create a massive industrial conurbation akin to Germany's Ruhr Industrial Valley. Onitsha was designed to drive the East retail economy, emulating a model later adopted by Dubai. The Eastern Nigeria Development Corporation, ENDC, and Eastern Nigeria Commodities Board, headed by Sir Louis Philip Odumegu Ojukwu, centrally drove these projects. Funding came from local revenues, direct foreign investment, and loans from the Commonwealth Development Corporation. Additionally, Chief Modo negotiated oil contracts with Shell on a 50-50 basis, but most oil assets were seized by the federal government without compensation, contributing to the region's economic decline. Present regional diplomacy for development in the South is towards a 50-year plan. The Southeast governors, as presently constituted, SEGOV, they are working very hard to go back to what will make the Southeast to be an industrialized zone. And there are key things they are focusing on. Those key things like security, which is paramount. Without security, it's difficult to achieve other ones. Power. And thank God the power is no longer in the exclusive list of the Constitution. It's now in a concurrent list. What that means is that states cannot generate their own power, transmit their own power. Therefore, the states are working very hard to do that. Once they generate, distribute, and transmit, then that will give us the economic boom that we are looking for. They're also looking at having a rail line that will connect all the major cities in the southeast, from Aba to Kibwe to Onitsha to Nnewi to Awka to Enugu to Nsukka to Abakaliki, all of that. They are working very hard. But it's not, these plans are not like plan. I want to do road construction. You design the road, you go do the drainage, you start constructing. It takes time. So we need to be very patient. Because they are there, they are the ones wearing the shoes. They are the ones that know where the shoes are pinching them. Sometimes you just sit down and be criticized. Oh, this one is not doing anything. Oh, this one, that one. It's not that easy. It needs collaboration. That is why we said regional collaboration and diplomacy. Because what we have is state government authority. Regional authority is by diplomacy. It is by collaboration. It is by understanding. It's by mutual respect that they can come together to bring up those things that can lead them together. Now they're having common legislation in power. Without common legislation in power, it makes it easier for people who can do transact business in Anambra to be covered by law in Abia, to be covered by law in Enugu, to be covered by law in Ebonyi, to be covered by law in Imo. So that similar legislation will cover your business, because every business is about profitability. When you invest your money, you want to have return on your investment. So for a businessman to invest, there are certain things that must be there for that businessman to invest. He wants law to cover him, his investments. He wants a conducive environment. He wants a steady power supply. He wants power. He wants mobility, transportation. He wants quality human capital. These are the things they are working hard to ensure that those things are in place. I want to crave the indulgence of our people to be patient with our governors. They are working hard to serve you better in this regard. So modernizing the Igba boy apprenticeship. You know this Igba boys so many billionaires, where one man will carry 20 or 30 boys. First to see after bido for after down other people. Now sales girl, sales boy. We have a full businessman, one sales girl, one accountant. Where we used to have 30 people. So basically we have a lot of youths, those who are not in school that are supposed to be where they are serving their masters. We have a retinue of young boys that are not doing much. So we are working hard to bring back this Igba boy in a very beautiful way, in such a way that it will be the responsibility of state government to nurture, incubate them, train them, incubate them in the areas where they can be sustained. Then after a while, you know, those that are doing well, empower them, they will also empower others. Because if you say we are going back to boy system, many people will not tell, like Mkulobi now. He said, Mkulobi, how many boy do you have now? I don't have any. I have a house girl. Chief, Mkulobi boy, he said, I legal money where boy. So we cannot allow our youths to continue to be idle. They said an idle mind is what? Devil's workshop. The only way we can reduce the rate of crime in the society is to engage our youths. And the governors are working very hard to ensure that we modernize this, bring it back as a way of throwing up millionaires, if not billionaires, in the nearest future. Collaborative governance. Southeast governors are partnering on informative projects such as regional rail system and improved power supply. Milestones like rehabilitating the Eastern Rail Line and the Light Up Southeast project in Tasra illustrate a commitment to development. I'm sure last month you saw when our Vice President, distinguished Senator Kashim Ibrahim, came to Enugu to flag up the Light Up the Southeast program, being championed by the federal government. All our Southeast governors were hosts in that outing. Then, what is the meaning of that? The Light Up program is where they are going to give a steady electricity to clusters of business like this Unizik now. They will supply you electricity direct. Onitsha will have all the clusters we have like in Nnewi. is a major infrastructure. We are following up to finalize it to ensure its conclusion. The Maiduguri, Port Harcourt Maiduguri rail, you have heard that Aba is now on. The next will be Enugu, but we are not relenting on that. We are looking at linking up the whole states with rail line. So it is one of the programs that are pursuing. And it's not a program that you start today, it ends tomorrow. No, any long-term plan starts somewhere. The major thing is that they have started, and it's a long-term project. It's not a project you start today. Tomorrow you see them commissioning it, because it's highly capital intensive, and it has to do with PPP, public-private partnership. They are going to partner with the government. There are things the government will provide. There are ones the private sector will provide. Regional diplomacy agenda. As part of our regional diplomacy strategy to foster development, we have initiated dialogue with Chinese ambassadors to streamline visa policies for our entrepreneurs operating in China. A lot of businessmen are passing through, having some problems getting Chinese visa, because some of them are not just going to China to go and import. They are going to China for transfer of technology, transfer of skill, to bring in people that will come here and teach our people how to make this microphone, how to make this, that's what some of them are going there to do. Not to go and import, but rather transfer of technology. That's what many of them are going there to do. So we are facilitating it. My office is directly doing this to ensure that we remove those encumbrances for our people to have access to Chinese visa. We're also looking at having American embassy establish their own visa center in Enugu or any of the southeastern states, to reduce this issue of our people flying, going to Lagos, going to Abuja, going to here to pursue visa. Sometimes you go, they don't give you, you come back again. We're trying to remove those bottlenecks. Establishment of annual security framework. The Secretariat has undertaken a thorough review of the recommendations stemming from the recent Southeast Security and Economic Summit in Owerri and similar conferences from previous years. This evaluation aims to develop an actionable plan with clear timelines for implementation, particularly focusing on the establishment of the annual security framework. Expeditious enactment of the Southeast Development Commission. I was the first to sponsor this bill in the 8th Senate. In the 9th Senate again, it was sponsored. In the 10th Senate now, it's ongoing. So we are following up. Bills like this is usually not easy to have accelerated passage, because every other zone wants to have this kind of bill in their own zone. So don't think those who are sponsoring it are weak. No, you're also dealing with those who are also serving their people. I sponsored it 8 Senate, and Estelle Odo took it 9 Senate. Now Ifan Yoruba is taking it 10 Senate, and other colleagues, both in the House of Reps and Senate. But SEGOF is following up. This time around, we are following up from outside to support them, to ensure that they finish everything about it, to pray and work hard to ensure that Mr. President signs it into law. So we also working hard to design a 50-year sustainable master plan for Southeast, so that when they start, successive governments will have somewhere to start, and they take over from the previous government and continue. So I'm working hard. I believe that in nearest future, which I can't say exactly because it's not that easy to have this kind of plan. The whole state, you have to study them, do the feasibility study in all sectors, plan them, look at funding. But it's not just planning, funding, where the funding will come. The states will agree certain infrastructure, where it will be sited, So we say, site in my state, you have to defend it. The other person will site in my state. For instance, assuming they want to do the mega hospital with international hospital, because in office you see a lot of letters. Well, these governors are not doing major. Look, as you go to America, you see this hospital, you go here, you go. For instance, assuming a major hospital will be cited in Anambra, you need to convince Abia governor why he should be here. The Ebonyi governor has to let his people know why he should carry about $2 million of their state to do. Then a businessman that is putting it here, assuming it's a private sector driven investment, would like to know, will Anambra alone sustain this business and I recover my money? So there are certain things that must be done, especially feasibility study, for those legacy projects to be done. But two things that I must say here is that the power and rail are very paramount. They are working very hard to ensure, because these are critical areas, and security, those three things. Critical areas our people are yearning that they should give them answers to. In conclusion, regional cooperation, human capital investment, inclusive governance, and peace building within the Southeast region are paramount for sustainable development and prosperity. Policymakers, stakeholders, and partners must reiterate their commitment to these principles and translate them into actionable strategies by prioritizing dialogue, fostering partnerships, and investing in education and skills training. We can empower individuals and communities to actively participate in regional initiatives and unleash the region's full potentials. Additionally, promoting inclusive governance structures and supporting peace-building efforts will build trust and strengthen social cohesion, laying the foundation for sustainable progress. As we move forward, let us remain steadfast in our dedication to strengthening our regional diplomacy, fostering collaborations, and building a more prosperous and inclusive future for all in the Southeast region. So having said that, I want to appreciate every one of you for listening, and I pray that whatever you must have gathered from my lecture today, you go home and think about it and ask yourself, what have I done to support the government? What have I done to support the system? In my own little corner, what am I doing to help the people around us? Anybody that lives a life that is only you and your family that you're helping, you're not a human being. You must, if you know that all your life is just you, my children, my papa, my mama, my brother, that you're helping, you're not purposeful. Oh. Are you hearing me? You're not purposeful. You must live your life to support the people around you. It's not only government that support people. In our own individual spaces, we should be responsible for those that are less privileged around us. So thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic. Thank you, our Amazon. Thank you, the Dynamite. Thank you, an achiever par excellence. Thank you. I think she deserves better applause than this. This is a senator that has achieved quite a good number of things. This senator has given scholarship to more than 10,000 students, both those that have graduated and those that are still on campus. She built houses, about 40 houses for widows. This is someone that has given employment to over 500 youths in both public and private sectors. We're not talking about what she has provided, I had said it earlier, in all the local governments she represented and even beyond. This is not to talk about what she has built in various institutions, especially higher institutions. This is not to talk about the markets. This is not to talk about the halls. This is not to talk about the roads. It was during her tenure that we know that a senator can construct roads. In Oka here, she did quite a good number of roads. In the Demili North, where I belong, she did. In all the local governments she represented, she did quite enormously. This is the former chairman, Senate Committee on Downstream before her exit to become the DG of Southeast Governors Forum. Now, yes, Science and Technology, 8th Senate, Downstream, 9th Senate, Chairman House Committee on Science and Technology. Like I told you, more than 177 communities in Anambra State has given her diverse awards and chieftaincy titles. Can you talk about Ejiofor?
I don't do justice to it, by, executive summary or something like that. Ladies, present to you the 2024 Professor Pita Ejiofor Biennial Frontier Lecture. He's a man that is well known, a great politician, the ambassador of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, plenipotentiary and extraordinary to the Republic of Burundi, a former banker and economics by training, and a man that believes so much in the ideal construction and structuring of finance. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ambassador Elijah C. Onyaba, PhD. Your Excellency.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon to all of you. Of the greatest Unizik students. Of the greatest and the greatest and the greatest and the greatest Unizik students. You know, they said you are the leaders of tomorrow. That's why protocol-wise I decided to start from the Vice Chancellor of this great citadel of learning, Professor Charles Simone, the Senator, Distinguished Senator Uche Lilian Ekunife Iyom, Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, CON. You are a woman that has worked very hard on the political system, and Onyeju will tell the person to go and verify. The chairman of this occasion, my friend and my brother, High Chief Simon Tochukwu Meto, usually I say to him, to Jehovah he not the man. The royal father of the day is Enugu Mori, ably represented by the cabinet secretary Ozombu Chief Frank Mokike. The Dean of the Faculty of Management Sciences, Professor Pius Okoye. The Member of Council, I can cite my brother Honorable Ejiofor. I can also cite very many eminent personalities that are here. If you're from Enugu, I greet you very much. I can see Pastor George Apambo. And indeed, my own brother. You know, in Enugu, we always tell ourselves, na Enugu just some millions. I'm sure he actually came here today on the account of the fact that he had that I'll be delivering lectures today. Thank you so very much for making it here, everyone. I believe that today is a very good day. I purposely put on this attire because I had cultural diplomacy as part of my topic. It's not because I wouldn't have loved to look the way Chiboy or some of you are looking. Believe me, I'll look good on this. And I also, because I was a banker also for a long time, I will also look better than Prof in the suit that he's wearing. I know so. But you see, the culture of Igbo people is extremely very important for us, this generation and the generation coming, to sustain. And that is why I believe a lot of work has been done by the man of the moment, Professor Pita Ejiofor, the second Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. And for the students, I'll tell you, just pay a little bit of attention, because I believe that before I conclude my lectures today, and I'll try to summarize it, by the way, I try to put together a PowerPoint presentation. So I believe that Professor Pius, the Dean, will make it available for whoever that wants. And for the academia, all the professors that are here, I recognize you. And I know it's very challenging to stand before you to speak, especially after Professor has welcomed you in the, Professor, the leader of the university. And of course, a very powerful politician has also spoken. So today, even though I'm a politician, I'll choose and I'll elect to speak to you as a diplomat, because I'm also a diplomat. Basically, I am looking at the topic, cultural diplomacy paving the way for national development. And I know a lot of people that have studied international relations, a lot of lecturers and authorities in this field have had a lot of definitions to the concept of diplomacy. So I'm going to be looking at the concept of diplomacy. I'll narrow it down a little bit to cultural diplomacy. We'll look at the roles, the approaches, and we will look at what objectives and what benefits we have from that. And I'll just be summarizing by making presentation as to the way forward. So the concept of diplomacy, actually, it's a few lines of thought, like I said. You can look at diplomacy, some people have looked at it as a Greek word. Some other people have also looked at it as a French word as well, because most of the things that are done in the business of diplomacy has its origin from the French. And there are lots of literature for the academia that are here, lots of theoretical literature. A lot of work has been done in this space, defining diplomacy and the practice of diplomacy. Basically, you can summarize diplomacy as the science and arts of making relationships work. That's my own personal definition. Because having practiced diplomacy, it's important that we also live it out. We use it as a regular word every day. You require, they just tell you if you're going for meetings, please be diplomatic. Oh, please use diplomacy. Oh, we had to use diplomacy to get this done. And, oh, sorry, by the way, let me also recognize Professor Ejiofor. I'm recognizing him especially because our paths actually crossed while I was serving Nigeria in Burundi. So I'm sure he knows a lot about diplomacy, even though he's not in this profession, but I've carried diplomacy business to his office as the Vice Chancellor for Olivier University in Bujumbura. So basically, Nigeria as a country have got 109 diplomatic missions across the world. 109. Those diplomatic missions are in the form of embassies and high commissions. And for the students, please pay attention, because some of this pedestrian information will be useful to you in the things that you're going to do tomorrow. When I was appointed ambassador of the Republic of Nigeria, I went to the Senate for screening. And the first question the Senate Committee Chairman on Foreign Affairs asked me, Ambassador, you have a very good CV. In fact, senators, your senator have also come to make a case for you that will give you soft landing. But in the Senate, we don't do that. So we're going to subject you to proper screening. So we'll be sure that who we are recommending to the president is qualified to do the job. And the first question he asked me was, what is the difference between an embassy and a high commission? No. Who is an ambassador and who is a high commissioner? So now, some of you, any of you can also be, I've seen a lot of people that raise their hands that they wanted to be bigger than ambassador. It's fine. I pray you get there, but pay attention to pedestrian information, because the JAMB result that was released a couple of days ago didn't tell us so much about what's going on with the Nigerian students. It's a bit of a concern. And I think that whatever we need to do to remind ourselves of where we're coming from, we need to pay special attention to that. An ambassador is the representative of the president of a country in another foreign country. A high commissioner is an ambassador that is serving in a Commonwealth states. If you don't get it, forget about it. Nigeria is also hosting about 130 diplomatic missions. So what we do in diplomacy is basically agreements, negotiation, and it's usually very, very difficult. And I'll tell you this story. I got to Burundi as Nigerian ambassador to Burundi 28th of April 2021, and I told myself that I was going to work very hard to secure the first bilateral agreement between Nigeria and Burundi. So we set up to have a formal, what we call joint commissions. How countries relate. The first agreement is set up in a bilateral relations between one country and another is to set up what is called a joint commission. So we tried to set up Nigeria-Burundi joint commission. So I brought the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I brought a lot of people from Education Ministry, from Ministry of Trade, just to come because we believe we could sign some bilateral agreement in that process. And it was a 7-day meeting. And we spent about 5 days in that meeting drafting agreement MOUs to be signed on education, cooperation, and political consultation. And a day before that meeting was going to come close, which is the day we're going to agree on an assignment, on agreement to sign, we could not agree on one sentence in the agreement. Diplomacy is a very serious business. One sentence we did not agree. And I couldn't sleep that night because we had already decided, the minister had decided that if they can't agree, after spending 7 days in Burundi, he was going to go back to Nigeria without signing the agreement. So it was going to be a waste of time. And what was the clause that became a problem? The clause says, in the event of divergence in interpretation, the English version of the Memorandum of Understanding takes precedence. And because the country is a French-speaking country, they said no, that they were not going to accept it. And in fact, that their parliament was never going to approve that. So with all the beautiful English that we have spoken within that period, with all the time we have wasted, we could not agree on this sentence in the event of divergence in interpretation, that the English version of the MOU should take precedence. And it became a problem. And I didn't sleep up until 3 a.m. that day because you are, as an ambassador, you're in the middle. So your responsibility is to make relations work. So you go to the Nigerian party, you speak to them, they say no, Ministry of Justice will not agree. You go to this side and they say no, their parliament will not agree. How can you say that English is superior to French? And the French people are also saying, the English people are also saying, how can you say that French is superior to English? You know, this concept of diplomacy, you can look at it from a very broad perspective because there are narrow and broader, perspectives to the concept of diplomacy. But at the end of the day, I met with the leader from Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bolaji, and I knelt down and I said to him, how can I bring a minister from Nigeria to come here and spend 7 days and go back without signing an agreement? Please, let us do everything possible to ensure that we can seal this deal. And he said, okay, that I should give him like 30 minutes. So I gave him 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I called him. He said, okay, that he needs to talk to their own minister first. So he spoke to their minister, and the minister said, okay, let's try and see how we can make it work. And he came up with just one sentence that says, in the event of divergence in interpretation, the English language version must be in sync with the French version. It's just one word, and everybody became happy with the agreement. So we went to sleep for 2 hours and came back and signed the agreement. And that's how the business of diplomacy works. It is not a business that you exhibit hard power, because in diplomacy we have, in fact, in general relations, we have the hard power and we have the soft power. A hard power refers to the use of military, guns, whatever it is that you use to be able to exert influence. But soft power actually refers to issues like diplomacy, entertainment, culture, how you use all of these things to influence other countries and get your customs and traditions to be practiced in that country with mutual respect. And you see yourself having influence. And we have a lot of students here. I'm sure VC will not understand, but if I sing to them, every student just listen to me and respond. Lonely at the top. Money's on my mind. Okay, for the elderly people, if you don't get it, forget about it. Now, what has happened is that the country we live in that we call Nigeria, by the way, is a very big country in the context of Africa. You won't understand how big Nigeria is until you step out of the country. You can say all of the things you want negative about it, but this is a beautiful country. If you live here, you will always want to come back, particularly when you travel within the confines of the country. And by the way, one of the most difficult visas to also find is Nigerian visa. As an ambassador, I'll tell you. If you're in India, if you're in China, if you're in America, if you look for Nigerian visa, you will know that it is difficult to get. The same way it is for you to get American visa here, that's the same way it is to get Nigerian visa out of the country. You know? So what has happened is that we have brought ourselves to a level where we are softly influencing the world with the things that are happening in our entertainment industry. It doesn't matter the argument you're having with somebody in London or in America or in New York. Once a Burna Boy shows up, once a Whiskey shows up, these guys go to O2 Arena in London and they shut it down. 60,000 people pay money. In fact, I was in East Africa for 3 years. And the same thing with also Flavor Nabania. I was in East Africa, and Flavor visited a couple of times to Tanzania. Each of his visits makes about $1.5 million in cash that is being paid to him. And these are actually not documented in our gross domestic products. These are all outliers because you don't know how these monies are paid. He can even fly in with the money, and sometimes even customs don't get to account for all of these monies. So what that tells you is that there's a lot of potentials. As an ambassador of Nigeria and Burundi, a lot of them usually refers to me as an Igwe. And they don't know that I'm not an Igwe, but that's what they see in our movies. And that's why, because this industry, by the way, Nollywood is about the third largest movie industry in the world. And we also need to be careful the kind of stories, the kind of narratives that we give out, because some of them even use it as, all of the jujus and all of the things that we display there. So I'm a man that loves culture. I took another title, not because I felt I had the money to take it, but I felt that it's important that my children grow up understanding Igbo culture. So I tell you, do yourself a favor. Learn to speak your language. You're not doing anybody a favor but yourself. Do yourself a favor. Teach your children how to speak your language. If you don't get it, forget about it. Now there are concepts to diplomacy. Number one is bilateral diplomacy, what we refer to as relations between one country and another. Another is multilateral. Multilateral diplomacy and multilateralism refers to diplomacy within multiple arrangements. For example, if you get to, within the African context, we have the African Union. Even within the African Union, we have regional organizations like the West Africa ECOWAS, East African Community, and if you go down, further down, you have the SADC. These are platforms for negotiation, platforms for signing treaties, and all of this exists. And of course, if you elevate it from the continent, you also have the United Nations, where Nigeria, every country usually will send a delegation or a representative to represent them at that level. And that's what we refer to as multilateral diplomacy. There's also what we refer to as public diplomacy. And for the sake of my presentation, I will narrow down a little bit on a subset of public diplomacy referred to as cultural diplomacy. And we're looking at cultural diplomacy as a tool for paving the way for national development. And by cultural diplomacy, we refer to our arts, we refer to ways of doing things, we refer to even our fashion, we refer to our food, we refer to our music, our entertainment industry. These are all part of the components of cultural diplomacy. And again, I did a lot of, in academic writing, you understand that you must have literature review, empirical literature and theoretical literature. So I have a lot of literature on cultural diplomacy, but I understand that time is fast spent. So if you need a copy of my presentation, please contact the dean to get a copy. And there are a couple of approaches, to cultural diplomacy. Just by way of definition, so that I don't just glide through it without you getting the point. Cultural diplomacy refers to the use of cultural exchanges, interactions, and initiatives to enhance understanding, building relationships, and promote goodwill between nations or communities. And here are some of the common approaches. Cultural exchanges. You know the reason why the Chinese move around the world and they've come to this university to build a Confucius Center is actually a strategy in their foreign policy that has to do with cultural diplomacy. Because they need to be able to take whatever it is and whatever story and narrative they have about China, to take it to other countries of the world to be able to teach them their languages and for them to be able to understand China a little bit better. In 1977, we had what we refer to as FESTAC, Festival of Arts and Culture. And that event brought over 100 countries to come to Nigeria to display their culture. It was all about building bridges and it was all about ensuring that we understand each other better. And by the way, while you're also trying to learn your language, I can also tell you authoritatively that one of the most survival skills you will ever have in this world, I don't know about the world after, in this world is ability to speak a second language. If you are a Nigerian and you are from your first assignment, first of all, is to speak your native language before you learn English. You know, I was in Burundi for a while, so one of the things I found out was that they try to educate their children in French, primary and secondary school, and then by the time they get to university, they send them to an English-speaking school, so they actually balanced in all of the languages. And because of how domineering Nigerians are, the Anglophones of the West African region don't take French. We don't regard French as anything. Whereas the Francophones make even a little attempt to try to speak English. But for us, it's really not a big deal. But the day you run into trouble in other locations, you will know that learning other languages is very important. And you do that with a lot of respect as well, and appreciation of the fact that yours is not necessarily superior. You know, that's basically the concept of all of this. You also have cultural festivals and exhibitions. I talked about when Nigeria did this. I don't know when next is coming up, but there are always cultural events that people try to do across countries to be able to get one another to appreciate, cultural diplomacy. Language and education, sports and games. As a matter of fact, when I was serving in Bujumbura, I figured that the country, you know, a lot of their citizens spend time in sports. You know, so I decided that every Nigerian day, which is 1st October, we're going to organize what I called Run Buja, which is basically run around Buja. So we'll put up prizes, we've got sponsors to be able to be doing the event. So every day, every night, in fact, the country always look forward to participating in that event. Just number one is that it is something that they love to do. Number two is that it's also something that enables me keep Nigeria in the memory of everyone that is in Burundi. Let me also tell you a story about fashion as well, because I looked at the president and I felt that one of the things I can do to get to him was to make him a lot of Nigerian attires. So I made him a lot of Nigerian attires, and of course, his wife also became a very good friend to my wife because they make Nigerian dresses and, you know, they really, really loved it. So whenever we go for an event, even when we had Nigeria Burundi Summit, the president showed up in the Nigerian attire. And this is cultural diplomacy, and this is ways that what you can do to influence the people in a very positive way. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago actually, I was in the UK and the ambassador Nigerian ambassador to UK invited me for an event that was being organized by the Queen of England with diplomats at the beginning of every year. And we attended the event, and some of these, another ambassador from a very nearby African country showed up in the event with suits, just like Professor Pius. Just decked with suits up and down, and was really looking good. So apparently the Queen couldn't come for the event, so he sent King Charles, then Prince Charles. So he was moving around to shake everybody, and he got to the guy and stopped a little bit and said to him, "You look funny." Again, if you don't get it, objectives of cultural diplomacy. We use cultural diplomacy to promote mutual understanding between nations. We use cultural diplomacy to build positive international image. We use cultural diplomacy to facilitate people-to-people exchange. We use cultural diplomacy to even promote economic interests. Why do I have to talk about this now? Anything you succeed in your culture to package very well, you can actually promote it. You see what I'm wearing, eh? If you like it so much, not that you cannot just go and sew your own and wear in your house, but you must take a title before you actually dress like this. But if you like it, honestly, come to Enugu, because if you've ever been to my community, you know that we are people of culture. I invite everybody, it's an open invitation. Just come to our Ejiofor Festival 2025. It will be first Saturday in 2025. And some of the things you will see, you won't believe that, it will be unbelievable. And if you don't get value for your money, my cabinet secretary will refund you the money that you used in attending the event. We also use cultural diplomacy to address global issues. There are lots of global issues that happen, and there's this famous story of a negotiation agreement between Israel and Egypt. What was the problem? You know, when Ben-Gurion got the people of Israel, I think 1947 or thereabout, to come back to set up the state of Israel. There's this mountain they call Mount Carmel. If you're a very good Christian, if you've read your Bible, you must have read about Mount Carmel. But Mount Carmel, location-wise, is in Egypt. So Israel was very worried because it was not very far from Jerusalem. Israel was very worried, and they said that they cannot allow Egypt to be in control of Mount Carmel. So it became a very big issue, just like we're having a Russia-Ukraine war, Israel-Hamas challenges and all. It became a very big issue that had to come to the UN for discussion. And in diplomacy, part of the things you do is also to ensure that people leave a negotiation table thinking that they have won. So you must also try to achieve a win-win. So it's not just trying to force your way. It's like in a marriage, for example. If you're having a problem in your marriage, you must find a way that you settle the dispute, that everybody leaves the negotiation room feeling that they also have made some little contribution. So you give in here and you give in here. So the question was basically, Israel, what's the problem? Israel said that it's actually security concerns. That's the reason why they wanted to be in charge of Mount Carmel. Why? Because Mount Carmel is overlooking Jerusalem, so they're afraid that one day bomb might be thrown from, And Egypt, what's the problem? Egypt said that it's our sovereign, in our landmass, it's our area. Therefore, so clearly, everybody have got a very firm and strong opinion about these issues. And eventually it was agreed that because of the territoriality issue that was a concern of Egypt, that they are going to have control of that land, but they must, of that Mount Carmel, but they must ensure that nothing attacks Israel from Mount Carmel. So if you go to Mount Carmel today, there are security people that are funded by the Republic or whatever, the Egypt as a government, protecting Mount Carmel against any attack that can come to Israel from Mount Carmel. So Israel's concern about the attack has been addressed. Egypt's concern about ensuring that they are in control of this area because they think it's in their territory has also been addressed. Roles of cultural diplomacy, you can use it to build bridges. I talked about soft power. That's what people are using. That's what I believe that Nigeria as a country can achieve tomorrow. We are already achieving it today, but there is so much that we can achieve using soft power, and diplomacy is one of them. Public diplomacy, cultural exchanges and learning, I've talked about the instruments for this. I hope and I believe that one of these days we'll begin to have areas. I have to go to say charity begins at home. Or it will be about man on noggin. Kuzelo mu etu esi osi Igbo before I choose that case we mepe ebe na osi Igbo na America na United Kingdom. But funny enough, if you also visit those countries, you even see that some Nigerians that are living outside the country have done a massive work in trying to teach their children the language. Madam is in the Nelu Kuba in Asusu Igbo now. That is even the problem. I'm fine. And I will look at benefits that we have to cultural diplomacy. Promoting national identity. There's nothing as beautiful as having your cultural identity. I'm always a very proud person when you see me dressed like this. And I post it a lot on social media. If you follow me, you will understand that. It is because I needed the young people to also know that it's important not to run away from your culture. A big man will see be America with his children. So for them, those on never seen a Umaka need one. Say I can to go in there. This thing first of all, I have to go to because we live in an era where you work hard, you send your children abroad, and they come back as different people. Yeah. You send them abroad. A friend of mine just lost his uncle, and 3 of his boys are in Canada. They said they can't come back for their father's funeral.
So you're asking yourself, where exactly are we headed? You can hiss, but this is actually happening very close to you. Pick up an Igbo person, a Yoruba person, an Hausa person, give them scholarships or PTDA, for example, let them go to the UK and study. After they finish doing that, the Igbo man will never come back. Sometimes I think we believe that we're very smart, but this has a negative influence. That's why I have massive respect for people that take their children abroad and also manage to bring them back to also see what is happening at the local angle. It's very, very important. Yes, it's good to expose them. Yes, it's very good to ensure that they get very good education. But to what end, really? To what end, really? Opposite na social work acha, as na chosi ibodo work acha. As na afozo mo gini hema bona hana lolo na America. Abacha also say go kwa man. UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, established in 1945, was the United Nations idea of ensuring that they bring together or they establish a platform where they can bring together all of these cultural issues and diversities and just create a platform for understanding amongst one another. So as a country, you know, when I served in Bujumbura, UNESCO recognized their drumming. One of the most beautiful things that they have in the country is their drum. When you see them drum, it's fantastic, it's amazing. Even the president, everybody in the country drums, you know. And there must be things that we have as Igbo people that we can find a way to package and promote them in such a way that they get recognized at this level. Also, there are so many things that we have. Like I said, once you put these things in a very well packaged form, it even becomes a source of foreign exchange. It becomes a, you know, people can travel all over the world. And by the way, Israel is a country that a lot of us have visited. And if I ask you why you went to Israel, you say you went there on a pilgrimage. Do you know that majority of people that believe in Israel don't even believe in that Israelis don't even believe in what you have come for? Honestly, majority of them they see you as somebody that they are just making money from. You believe that Jesus Christ died here. Okay, this is the Western world. Oh, okay, this is Galilee. They take you on all of those stores and they extract serious money from you. And they never say with a very happy spirit. You know? Meanwhile, there are a couple of other places we have in the country that you can actually promote to the level where people can also begin to come there to see these things. And I believe that this is one of the things that Professor Pita Ejiofor also stood for. We must try to put our context, other than Ibuku and maybe Enugu and I think Ibuku in Rio. So I don't think there are much places where we are preserving our things. And these are the things that people came here hundreds of years ago and stole them. I know it was in the last administration that German government and a couple of them started returning some of these brooms and some of the things that they took away from the country. And these are the things that we would have hitherto arranged and put and displayed in a very nice way for people to also visit and pay attention to them. Some of the things that even matter, the things now about Hanchani, you know, the idea for us was to try and find a platform for preserving these things so that we can have stories to tell our children. If you call TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or where? And when you call her, we should all be ashamed of ourselves, honestly. Anyways, my recommendations. And like I said, I could actually speak on this for a very long time, but I recognize that people are tired. And one of the negative cultures we must also fight against in this part of the world is also what we refer to as African time. You can't set a program for a particular time and also start late, and hours for that matter. And we have taken it as part of our culture, and we just say, okay, it starts at 10 o'clock African time. There's a negative culture. We must also find a way to get it out of our system, because in the diplomatic space, there's no room for that. People invite you for occasion and they say it's from 8 to 10. So if you like, you come by 10, everybody's packing and they're going. It's something that we have to fight and deal with. To improve cultural diplomacy for national development, here are some of my recommendations. Strengthen government support. Government should allocate adequate resources, promote policies, and prioritize cultural diplomacy, and establish dedicated departments and agencies to oversee, coordinate cultural diplomacy efforts. This includes funding cultural initiatives, establishing cultural exchange programs, and supporting cultural industries. Enhance cultural education and awareness. Foster public-private partnerships, because sometimes what the government do or what they should be doing is regulation. Create an enabling environment for people that have the skills to come and thrive. Utilize digital platforms. For all the things that technology can do for us, there are still a few things they can't do for us. They can't help us make our choices. The choices must be ours to make. Support grassroots initiatives. Collaborations between cultural institutions and focusing on cultural exchange in diplomatic missions. Evaluate and adapt strategies regularly to evaluate the impacts and effectiveness of cultural diplomatic strategies and initiatives. Monitor the outcomes, collect feedback, and make necessary adjustments to ensure objectives are met and resources are utilized optimally. Engage the youth and the civil society. Strengthen multilateral cooperation. Engage in the global organizations like UNESCO and other regional bodies to strengthen multilateral cooperation in the area of cultural diplomacy. By implementing these recommendations, countries like Nigeria can enhance the effectiveness and impact of cultural diplomacy contributions to national development, global understanding, and sustainable peace across the world. Today we are gathered here for Professor Pita Ejiofor Emeritus Biennial Lecture Series. I can gladly and boldly say that I believe that he's an ambassador of cultural diplomacy through his great inputs in striving to preserving our language and culture by extension. As a great teacher of repute, as a colossus and a social crusader, Professor Pita Ejiofor, through his Otu Subaku Igbo, has greatly promoted the Igbo language existentialism and survival. Our duties now is to re-strategize on ways we can export our language outside the confines of our states, our nation, and continent. And the time is now. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Please, may we give him a standing ovation, please. Thank you. As the lead paper presenter, thank you for the 2024 Professor Pita Ejiofor Biennial Frontier Lecture. Thank you. We salute you. That was a wonderful one, and I was listening with keen attention because that is my area. Yes, I am a professor of international relations and strategic studies, so he went into my area, even without permission. Anyway, it is granted. So I thank you so much. I thank you so much.
If you don't get it,
we forget it. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was powerful. Honestly, that was powerful. We spoke from personal experience. So we thank you so much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to, do a catch up now. And we want to go to the next item, which is a review of Professor Pita Ejiofor's book. And we're going to be very, very, short with it. Let me put it that way. And it's going to be done by no other person than a member of the governing council of this great university, my own teacher, na secondary, Bukwa my teacher, na university. Former Dean of the Faculty of Management Sciences, and to the glory of God, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, former Director, Unizik Business School. I'm talking of no other person than Professor Ezima Nabife,
who incidentally taught the two MCs, because she taught me too.
The chairman of the occasion, Mpulubi Abatete, I'm from Ejiofor. So later on we will collaborate because Nazona okay Ejiofor na Abatete. My Vice Chancellor, sir, our own Senator, the pride of the women, a woman who has done so much, recorded and unrecorded. Young, Senator, Honorable, Lillian Ucheokunife, PhD, and CON. I want to start by apologizing to you because we saw that there were little omissions. Give honor to whom honor is due. Because as she said here standing, she said, I have worked very hard to be where I am. I doff my heart for you. We know and we have taken cognizance of that. So we are very sorry and we have tried to correct the anomaly. So for professors, lecturers, our own students, I want to thank all of us. I recognize all of you for being here. I have been told that time is not on our side. So I'm going to try as much as possible to work with time. This review would have been given to, I want to recognize, sorry, my friend, I will call him, who is seated at the extreme by the right, the CMD, Dr. Akabike. You're also welcome. Sorry. Okay, so the title of the book, compiled from the selected work of the man we are celebrating today, is Visionaries of Change, Professor Pita Ejiofor's Timeless Insights for Excellence. This book was compiled by Professors Pius V.C. Okoye, the Dean of the Faculty of Management Sciences, Professor Ezima Nabife, my humble self, a past dean, a past this and that, and Professor Anayon Kannebe, who incidentally would have given this review, but unfortunately is coordinating the Anglican Synod, which also started today. So he's not here. So whatever I'm saying is on his behalf. And I have told I have only 5 minutes. Visionaries of Change, Professor Pita Ejiofor's Timeless Insights for Excellence, is a book that offers a profound collection of previously published and unpublished works by the esteemed Emeritus Professor of Management, Professor Pita Ejiofor. This book is compiled by professors I have mentioned, and the book includes instructive ideas that remain as relevant today as they were decades ago. This book is a comprehensive resource that covers a wide array of topics related to management and leadership, and also Igbo, because I'm conversant with the compilation, and Igbo culture, as you have seen, have taken a good part of today's activities. So 2 chapters have been taken from, or we are taking from his book, that is Reviving the Igbo Culture, because he has played a lot of part in that. The book contains chapters authored by Professor Ejiofor decades ago, and it remains as relevant as it was when published. Through his expertise, Professor Ejiofor delved into the intricacies of management, which, as you're going to see, chapter by chapter, presented as they are. You will go through a lot of challenges in leadership, private sector participation, buying Nigeria made good, the role of management, and so on and so forth. So, the book includes both published and unpublished works of Ejiofor, as we are going to see. and very informative ideas are contained there. So without reading every part of this review, the conclusion. Visionaries of Change is a must-read for scholars, practitioners, and anyone interested in understanding the dynamics of management and leadership, and also the Igbo culture, because this part is omitted. In his book, Reviving the Igbo Culture, there is so much. As we were going through to do the compilation and do the selection, it is a must read. In fact, that book should be part of our library. So, Professor Ejiofor's timeless insights continue to inspire and guide us towards a path of excellence and positive change. We are therefore encouraged to take one of the copies as we leave this hall, buy for others, take some home, and read the richness of our culture, the inventive aspects of management by our own management guru, the Pita of Africa. Anybody that knows Professor Ejiofor would attest to his intelligence, both traditional intelligence and conventional intelligence. And this led him through the years. As we are still expecting him, possibly, we pray that he recovers fast. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, we are now on the presentation of the book. The presentation, and it's going to be done by the Amazon herself, the lady of the moment, Madam Project, Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic, Senator Uche Lilian Ebunife, CON. She will unveil first and then present.
That's the CMP of COOUT, Dr. Akabike Joe.
This you have to join us, the chairman. You have to feel as if we are still young, you know. So come over. Chief,
Okay.
join us.
Okay, we will lose it.
Yes, you have to join us.
We will look at Professor Joseph Obuasi, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, Ambassador.
Where am I supposed to stand?
In the middle. Pulobi, bye. Where's your phone? It's also there.
Hello. I stand on the existing protocols. So we have gathered to unveil these beautiful prints, the book Visionaries of Change, of Professor Pita, Ejiofor's Timeless Insights for Excellence, compiled by no other person, no other people, not just one person, 3 people, 3 great professors, 3 great professors, Professor Pius V.C. Okoye, Professor Ezimman Nabife, and Professor Anayo Nkemnebe. Nkemnebe. And we have how many pages? 416 pages. So you can imagine the sleepless nights, the time put into this project, the resources, and everything to have gotten up to 160 something pages. Is it 400? 460 something pages. It's not an easy thing. So we have gathered to assist them in unveiling it. And the man, Professor Pita Ejiofor, does not need any more introduction. We have done justice to who he is and who he will continue to be. But the most important thing is to thank every one of you for being patient enough till this moment. That means you on your own decided to devote today to this Emeritus Professor. Therefore, I will hand over the microphone because, you know, I am a woman. When it comes to money, let the men do it. I will hand over the microphone to the chairman of this occasion, who is equally the chief launcher for this, because it's important we start with somebody I'll call big money, so I don't spoil the occasion for them. Because as a lawmaker, as a woman and mother, we receive, we don't give. So I will hand over the microphone to the chairman to launch, and also launch for me. Launch for the woman professor too. Every woman there launch on for us. So no, because you have to answer your father's name. So you have the floor to start the launching. Thank you very much.
I'm already with the mic.
So we are presenting the book to the public. Visionaries of Change, Professor Pita Ejiofor's Timeless Insights for Excellence, compiled and written by 3 eminent professors, Professor Pius V.C. Okoye, Professor Ezimman Nabife, and Professor Anayo Nkemnebe. So I will hand over the microphone to the chairman to now launch the book. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished Senator Uche Ekwumefe. I salute you again. My VC of University of Nigeria. Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka University. The guest lecturer, my own ambassador, Ike Enugu and other greats here. I know it's too numerous for me to mention, but I know they have introduced everybody and keep on introducing everybody. Now it's time for launching of the book. The book title is Visionary of Change. We know the topic here is about culture. Visionary to change. We have to change in our culture and embrace the culture of our forefathers, Bo and Asuku Igbo. There was a time there was a meeting I went for with some Chinese people. I saw a girl interpreting for this Chinese. You know, I was surprised. I thought this girl studies in China or she has lived in China. Honestly, the girl told me, I asked her, where do you study? You know, when she was speaking this, I mean, without making any mistake, as if it's the Chinese. I asked her, where do you study? She said, UNICEF. I was surprised, honestly. I was surprised and amazing. And I asked her, that day I find out there is Commission stood for Chinese, learning of Chinese there. So I was surprised. I keep it on. In fact, I want to advise our youth, the students, anything you have to study, anything you have to do it well. Don't just do it, maybe you don't need it, or put all your best. That is hard work. Anything you want to do, do it well. Put all your best. That will make you to go far. You know, like our distinguished senator said, the only thing that will make you to excel in life is hard work, you know. So without wasting much of your time, I want to learn the book, and I want to, sorry my distinguished, I want to disagree on what you said. Everybody can have Yanaka. Everybody can have you. I will know you. I will know your capacity. So that is the reason I will not for you. So please, on behalf of myself, my family, and my company, please, I want to launch this book with a sum of 2 million naira. 2 million naira. And also, if you want to support the school too, you want to support the school, because you know the school that we have come here, everyone, we know they need money. Every organization needs money to carry out their duties. So please, I want to support the school too. I want to support the faculty here with the sum of 3 million naira.
I want to deserve a resounding applause. A resounding applause.
5 million is not here. 5 million.
All is gone. You see, that is why it's always good to make a good choice. You see why I said I will start. Politicians are very smart people. They know when they need to bow out and when to remain on top. So when to kind of give the way. You see, people should clap for me because I got it right. If I had given to him by now, I wouldn't have spoken. He would still be tossing the microphone like this. But I said, let's start with Mpulobi. You are no longer Mpulobi. About it, you are not Mpulobi Unity. So looking at the people here, I don't know who again I will hand this microphone to. Everybody eyeing me like this, don't come to me, but I'm going to them. Let's go to Ambassador. Because Ambassador will speak for the youth. And he has a microphone already, so we're waiting for you. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Already, I'm sure everybody's tired of hearing my voice. I'm sure what you want to see is my pocket. You know, I thank you very much, distinguished, for the opportunity once again. I thank the family of Professor Pita Ejiofor Emeritus. I also thank the faculty for this opportunity. I will also be supporting the launch of this book with 500,000.
Thank you. Is there another person here that wants to speak? Professor?
Dr. Joe Kabike, Okobuluzo.
I want to stand on the already established protocol. But let me just make a small remark and also advise to our people. Igbo people are very unique. We are very special. we are what it takes to be human beings. Let us not be insulting our own. Let us not bringing our people down. Because if I tell you that I am not shocked by the presentations today of these brief hours of our sister and our brother, I was moved. And when you go to more of them, you begin to say that we have to. Why can't us protect ours and leave them? If you know what you can do, one man from my place, you may leave others and stop criticizing them because we are unique. We are not presenting second level in anything. We are all first, and we must appreciate it. If we don't do that, nobody will do it for us. This is the way of advice. Then, I've been a friend of the university because they are closest neighbor. And happy Ejiofor, a special father and a mentor. But I just came here to do my work. I didn't know I would be asked to donate. Because as a doctor, I'm a mender of bad souls. If anybody tries to go the other way, I will stop the person. I came here with my stethoscope and speak, hoping to make sure that nothing unto us happened. So as it didn't happen, I have done my job. Is there anything that is remaining? I have contributed.
Monetize it.
So we are looking after healthy people. And also, let me use this opportunity to also tell Elijah, the ambassador, you were with me the other day when Deputy Governor has something. We need to come down and look around and see what is going on. Because he has finished that one. So people should come because the best thing you can have is health. And we need a lot of people to come in for the help of our people. Things are getting more difficult and we're getting more profitable. And the best we can have is that people should go where they can go and get good help. Well, this is not preaching. I'm sure that this one is a diversion. But all the same, I'm going to take 5 copies of this. We're going to spread on various aspects of the hospital, each with 50,000.
Thank you. 250,000.
Thank you very much.
Professor Zewi.
Standing on the existing protocol, Prof. Pita was my teacher right from the undergraduate days. So I'm going to launch this book on behalf of all University, okay, a sum of 100,000 naira.
Or 100,000. Professor UC, Zewi, 100,000.
Thank you.
Eco Engineer, Honorable Eco Ejiofor, MD CEO, Water Corporation.
Thank you.
Solution Water.
All due and all of the existing protocols. First is to appreciate the gathering. The Vice Chancellor, I want to thank you so much. Distinguished Mr. Ejiofor, on behalf of our father, Ejiofor, and the family, I want to thank you and all of you, the chairman of the occasion, that have gathered here, for the love you have shown to Professor Ejiofor, the professors that coordinated this very activity here. Honestly, thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Prof is happy wherever he is now. I just spoke with my mother and yes, she's okay. So it's just the doctors that have asked him to stay with him. But the Prof is very happy. He wish he can, if this event is delayed a little, he will see him there. So, but for the love you have shown him, the family we are grateful. And we will support this very good launch. On behalf of the family, I will donate 200,000 naira.
200,000 from Ejiofor family.
Good evening, everybody. I came in a bit late, but
I know of this. I was here earlier, but they have not started. I am delighted in a special way to see very distinguished Senator Ejiofor, Dr. Lillian Uche. In fact, when I saw her as one of the people that will be speaking, I remember I told her sometime when she had her PhD that she has to come in here and take an assignment. I know she would not like us to pay her, but at least she can take up a course in the department when she has specialized. Is allowed. I know that Prof. Okonkwo, United Nigeria, right? Obiora is with us. This sister, please kindly assign her a course so that she will come and share her experience. Let me tell you, if you see her, you think she's old. She's not old. When I had started teaching, the senior sister was roommate to my wife in this university. Yes. So please get a room for her. I also want to thank my friend, Ambassador Elijah, very vibrant man. He has so much to offer the society. He's already doing that everywhere, anytime. Please, I thank you people for coming to honor the university and Professor Pita Ejiofor. Peter Ejiofor was our boss when he was Vice Chancellor. We were running around everywhere to support him. This Dean Pius, with his oversized coat, was dressing like this and everywhere then. It was everywhere, just like this. It was Ejiofor's boy everywhere. I'm sorry I'm talking too much. I'm sorry. I won't take your Dean. I'm not embarrassing you. Hope I didn't embarrass you. Chairman, sir, Vicky Meloff, my namesake. Ikobi was our student. The young has grown. So please, I thank everybody for coming. I will take a copy of the book with 50,000 naira.
Thank you, Prof.
The chairman, the VC, Ejiofor, where's distinguished ambassador? I salute you all. I really appreciate the invitation given to my traditional ruler. Incidentally, he was not able to be here present, but asked me to represent him. You know, the traditional institution is not an enterprise. And because of that, I would like to exclude him and make my own support personally, and not on behalf of the traditional ruler. So I'm supporting the university with the sum of 50,000 naira.
Everything you put your hand on, you never open doors, you self-compare.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me stand on the existing protocol. Let me start by saying that I'm full of praises for the people that organized today's function. The best thing you give the child is education. Seek ye the kingdom of education and other things carry on. No knowledge is a waste. It's a wonderful package by these three professors. And Professor Pita Ejiofor, elder scholar, is a gift of nature to give land. When we were very small, this phrase, "Smapigo," was a very wonderful phrase. Because without his effort and cohorts, I believe by now, the Igbo language would have gone into extinction. So my advice to all of us here present is to encourage the younger generation, encourage our families to be able to speak Igbo language fluently so that our root will not pass into extinction. My name is Nze, Honorable Samado Orthodox. Local government coordinator, Demisan local government for state of Sichebu organization. We belong to the Catholic Society. But be that as it may, myself and my fellow colleagues, we accept a number. We will pick 7 books at the cost of 35,000 naira.
That's fine.
Thank you very much for all the people that launched the book. I want to appreciate especially the audience for being patient and listening to us. I usually don't make open launching of donations. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't do that. Because as a politician, once you launch 1 naira here, another person will call you for lunch. You launch 10 kobo. And I say, oh, so my own does not worth anything. So I try not to make an open something. I will deal with the family, I know them directly. I will do my own launching very privately for obvious reasons. And I'm not here to represent the Southeast Governors Forum. I am here in my capacity as Senator Uche. So I represented my office, not the governors, for point of correction. And I will hand over the microphone now to the Vice Chancellor to acknowledge and appreciate every one of us present here. And at the end of this, we'll just close the section.
Distinguished, please, before the Vice Chancellor speaks, let's invite the former SUG President. He wants to support.
We are reversing the protocol. We are overruling him. Let him do
We will continue the lunch after this.
After that, yes. We don't have room for that. We are reversing the protocol. Should have been here before. So I will hand over to the Vice Chancellor to acknowledge us and close the session. Thank you.
Du bist alles, was ich brauche. Alles, was ich brauche. Alles, was ich brauche. Du bist alles, was ich brauche. Thank you very much, Music Department, for stirring me up. Our distinguished chairman for this 3rd Emeritus Professor Pita Ejiofor Frontier Lecture. We can't thank you enough. And you have exemplified that by your uncommon show of support for erudite professor, our father, and by extension to our own wonderful University University. We thank you sincerely. And we have seen that you have come not just to support Professor Pita Ejiofor, but also the Faculty of Management Sciences, the entire Senate, the entire management. We are saying thank you to you. I want to thank my own sister, and I'm happy that what has happened today has put to rest some rumors and things that people say they don't know. Because privately and in other separate fora, we try to present the facts concerning our distinguished senator, what she has done and what she has been doing and what she's still doing. But today, without planning it, God himself used her and others to set the facts right. And as the Chief Executive of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, I want to thank you in a special way, not for being here personally, but you can see the kind of honor that the distinguished senator has given to Professor Pita Ejiofor to be here, spending more than 8 hours of her time. She was in the school before 10 a.m. today. Please, let's appreciate her in a special way. God will bless you. And I know that in terms of the vision and what you have to do for Anambra State, what you have to do for Southeast, what you have to do for Nigeria. You have not started, you haven't done anything yet. We know all the things you have accomplished and you have done. God has always been on your side. And today she publicly acknowledged that it is through God and hard work that she succeeded. So we thank you again. I will pray that God will sustain you and take you to higher heights in the mighty name of Jesus. We want to also use the opportunity to thank all those who came with you, your Senetuche Unife team, for the wonderful support that have been given. They have been holding forth very well, and the representation has been wonderful. So I thank all of you for accompanying the distinguished senator. I want to thank in a special way my very good friend and brother, Ambassador Elijah Nyaba, Ambassador, for speaking the way you spoke. I've always known you to be a very smart, sharp academic. I've known that. And when I saw your name, I said again that I acknowledge that you do justice to it. And you did justice. I can challenge both the Gen Zs who are here. You know, the Gen Zs will move further. And this is proper role model. So I thank you for being a role model to them. They try, they raise their hands up, but they need to know what it takes. They need to know what it takes to be like Ambassador Elijah. Even much of it they can do. So I thank you again for your support and for physically being here. The time that you people have spent here, God will bless you mightily in Jesus' name. Even you are well represented here by the traditional secretary, who also in our own right launched this book. So we thank you sincerely. We thank the CMD, my very good friend, the CMD of Toyu, who was also a one-time commissioner of this state, Commissioner of Health, and Ekenegi Nozo for the support and for being here. We say thank you. I want to especially thank the Faculty of Management Sciences, led by the Dean, thank the LOC Chairman, led by my member of Council, for the wonderful work you've done, and all the members of your committee, through Gozio Nozo and Jesus. I now want to go to the Doyin, whom we gathered here, the Ejiofor family, Professor Pita Ejiofor, wonderful person, and for the way he has able to coordinate and sustain Otuswaku and all the legacies he has left for the culture of this land. I know Honorable Ikobi, now everything that he has done, we appreciate you sincerely, and all the family, because it's the Professor Pita Ejiofor for what he has done. And I thank all of us who have come here. I thank you, Professor Houston Zeri. Thank all the members of staff, all the directors and deans. Above all, I thank our students who have no respect that the vice chancellor is speaking and they are leaving. Oh, they have exams. Okay. Oh, please, I wish you well in your exams and good luck. You have A's in Jesus' name. For me, as vice chancellor, we will be taking 10 copies of this for the library at the sum of 400,000 naira. Thank you very much. And may God bless you all.
Amen. Please, you will be permitted to, for the presentation of awards. So, few deserving ones.
Thank you very much. Award of Excellence for an exceptional performance as the keynote speaker during the 10th Professor Pita Ejiofor Frontier Lecture, presented to distinguished Senator Uche Lenanekunfe, your PhD, CON, by the Faculty of Management Sciences, Namdazikwe University. Congratulations, most distinguished Senator. An award of excellence, remarkable performance as the chairman during the 10th Professor Pita Ejiofor Biennial Lecture, presented to High Chief Simon Tojubu Etu, Aile Kelegi, Olobi Abatete. An award of excellence for an outstanding performance as the guest lecturer during the 10th Professor Pita Ejiofor Biennial Lecture, presented to His Excellency Ambassador Elijah Nyaba, PhD. Congratulations.
Mr. Vice Chancellor,
5
sir.
minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. This is an award we prepared more than close to a year ago. And then we have been chasing her around. We had so much to come to give her this award. Today, I said yes, that we will put over to her. I know a lot has happened since then. Whatever we wish us to change, because I said give honor to whom honor is due. So please, ma'am, kindly accept this award on behalf of Inner Wheel International Nigeria, being given to you to Inner Wheel Club of Oka on your numerous and countless achievements. Congratulations. Now, the sky is very
Thank you. May I please request the dignitaries to return to their seats, please. We appreciate you. We thank you for this. Please, a response from the family. Response from the family, please. And I'm inviting Dr. Onyinye Ene on behalf of the family to do a response.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am standing on behalf of my dear father, Professor Pita Ejiofor, to give this vote of thanks. I will try to do it the way he would do. He would have spoken in Igbo because that's what he knows how to do. And I know a few members of Otusuba people are here present. So please, I beg your indulgence. I'm going to, because we have people that are not Igbos here. They are here. Ndi Igbo, Suba people, maka gịnị asụsụ bụ ndụ mba. Ọ bụ ihe eji mara ndị otu Suba people. So please, I take the singular honor and privilege to give this vote of thanks on behalf of my father. I want to thank the university management led by our very amiable Vice Chancellor, Professor Charles Okechukwu Esimoni, FAS. VCSA, your support has enhanced the continuity of this academic legacy. Professor Ejiofor is very grateful. He is aware of your unwavering support in ensuring that this effort continues. We say a big thank you, and he is very appreciative. I thank the chairman of the occasion, High Chief Simon Tochukwumetu, for agreeing to chairman this occasion. Sir, thank you very much on behalf of Professor Ejiofor. The guest lecturer, His Excellency, Ambassador Elijah Unyaba. Thank you. Honestly, when you were giving your lecture, the mix between the Gen Z and the old school was something that kept us glued to our seats. And when you look at the person presenting it and see a touch of culture as well, it is a combination of a lot of things in one man. Thank you very much, sir. Indeed, we learned a lot. So our most distinguished keynote speaker, the very elegant, distinguished Senator Uche Kunifesio and Ion. Mommy, when you said you will try to profess, honestly, I think you exceeded our expectations. And we even gave us a reason, those of us in academia, to up our game in public speaking a few months ago. As a matter of fact, he was one that kept pushing the family. But we had our own personal challenges that seemed as if we weren't cooperating. Dinsa is a member of the faculty, of the family, and he knows that. So Dinsa, we say thank you. Professor Ejiofor is very, very grateful for your leadership and your vision and toeing in line with an already established academic legacy. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate the chairman of the committee, Professor Pita Ejiofor, Frontier Lecture Committee, Professor Iziman Nabife, the very elegant Professor Iziman Nabife. Mommy, thank you. There was a day I was in the lecture hall and she called me. When you chapter 14, 15, 16, and now I feel like, wait here. You know, so I had to stop everything I was doing in school and I drove to get another copy of the book. By the time I got to where she was, she had left. It just goes to show how much she put into the success of this event. Prof, thank you very much. We also appreciate all the past deans of the faculty. I see most of them, Professor Dibenta, Professor Chizoba Ikweme, Professor Nkanebe. Thank you all so much. You have single-handedly ensured that this frontier lecture continues to hold in honor of Emeritus Professor Pita Ejiofor. Thank you so much. Now to the staff of Faculty of Management Sciences. Prof is our father. When he was stronger, he used to be with us, attend most of the events that we hold. But now, even with the little health challenges, every time he has a chance, I'm sure he's watching because we are streaming online. So he's also watching. Thank you very much. I thank Mr. Radupi. He's also Prof's neighbor. He's leaving now. Thank you very much. So thank you to all the professors in the Faculty of Management. It is my honor to let you know that Professor Ejiofor is highly grateful and appreciates all you have done to ensure the success of this event. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much. May I invite Professor Iziman Nabife to say the closing prayer.